What's good? We're back. It's
Yo,
Nest
yo,
Kingdom.
yo.
You know, we back, and I'm here with DJ Chubbs. I'm here with Saint. Yo, Chubbs, those glasses is different.
Oh
yo,
man,
those glasses is
I
fire.
stumble upon the
How'd you do that?
strangest fucking things. I stumble upon the strangest things.
Yo, that's crazy. If you guys tuning in, make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you want your voice to be heard, just click that little super chat. If you want a super chat, or you can donate to the channel at PayPal or Zelle. So we're here to talk about the summer league. This game against the Memphis Grizzlies. If you watched this game, it was I pray for you if you watched this game. It was just a total destruction of our summer league team. Total destruction. Let me shout out the people in the chat. Jason Flores, what's up? Claude, what's good? Cakes Boo, hey. Manny Alvio, Alex Burner, what's good? Tim Ryan, Brooklyn S11, what's up? Brooklyn S11, Gemini, what's up? Gemini, and Ghost Killer. Yeah, so not much to break down about this game. I think it was like 65-40 at the half or something like that. And Memphis was just incredible. Well, they're just so well coached. I tweeted this out before. The difference between the Memphis Grizzlies tonight and us is the offense. The Memphis Grizzlies were great on defense, and we weren't as good, but we did too much ISO. It was basically ISO cam, and we settled for 3-point shots. That was our whole offense this game. And Memphis Grizzlies, they were cutting to the basket, off-ball movement, ball movement, swing, somebody hit an open three, drive and kick. It was just well-coached, good, a really, really good Memphis team beat us tonight. And, that's all I got to say about today's game. Cam, again, Cam had 25 points. What did Cam have, 29? Cam had 29 points. 29 points. And everybody else, I don't even want to look at the stats, but go ahead, Sing.
No. I mean, it's just rough because it's like it takes Cam a whole game to get cooked up, right? You're watching the same type of coaching philosophy that you see with the regular with the normal NBA team, and it's like I felt like I was just watching the same team, right, without the stars. Like that's just the vibe I got from it.
Yeah.
Yes, it is the summer league, so I'm not taking it like overtly serious, but it's like when you're watching some of these other like teams out there, like they've got these kids playing together good, they're passing the ball, like you see the difference in philosophies and game plans. And then it's like more ISO. Just let Cam run around and do what he wants and wait till he gets cooked up by the second half. And it's like, like Cam's not going to have that much time in the regular season.
Yeah. And those amount of shots. How many shots?
And those amount of, like I'm not taking them. I'm not
tonight.
like, it's like, like the dude's scoring, but it's like most of those are all ISO shots. Like, and it took till the second quarter to get him there. And it's just like, is that what the organization wants the team to be like? Because it was very similar to watching the Nets in regular season where it was just like zero ball movement, all ISO. It's just like that was the vibe I got.
Cam took 19 shots tonight. Who else was Daron? Cam took 19 shots. He had 29. Daron had 13 and 6. DDJ had 12 and 2, and that's probably about it. And then let me see how many turnovers we had. We had 16 turnovers and points in the paint. Oh, that's another thing I forgot to talk about. Memphis, the way they recruit, because again, they have one of the best development staffs in the NBA. They have these guys that they recruited and drafted, they're big bodies, like 6'9", 240. They have a bunch of those kind of like Zach Randolph kind of guys, and they were just beating us up in the paint all
Especially,
night.
What's his name? Kenny Lofton Jr.
Kenny Lofton, bro. I was surprised about him.
That is, that's literally the Hulk. That's literally the Hulk.
Yeah.
Shout out to Easy Money Sniper. He said the Nash curse. Yeah, it is just like people think that coaching, it doesn't matter in this league. Coaching is very, very important. It is very, very important because it's like you got to establish a culture. You got to establish set plays. You just got to have your players buy in. Like if you have nothing to your players to buy into, why are they going to try hard? You know, they're already getting millions and millions of dollars. Like, you know, it's like, why are they going to? They got to have something to buy into. So that's why I'm looking at Grizzlies and John Morant, Dylan Brooks. They don't have to be here. They're in the summer league game.
Yeah, did
cheering
that
on their
rub you the
teams.
wrong way too? And the whole squad was out there rooting
The whole
them on?
squad was there, bro. The whole, it's
That
like they
kind
don't
of
gotta
rubbed
be
me
there.
the wrong way too.
That's culture right there, bro. It's from the
Yeah.
starters to the guy who just got drafted in the second round. There's no space in between. Everybody's on the same page. And that just made me feel so sad. I'm like, yo, they don't gotta be here. The head coach was standing right there too, of the Grizzlies. It's like they're all there just on the same page. And like, it's just, I wish we had that, man. It's crazy. Somebody said, was Lofton Jr. undrafted? I'm not sure. I know I saw him on my he was on the list on that draft list, but I know he's like 6'7", 6'8". He's kind of like what we wanted Raekwon Gray to be, because he's a kind of like a Draymond-ish kind of guy, but he doesn't have that defense. But he can run that point. He has great court vision, and he can rebound and get points, get rebounds. Duke Jr. is going to leave the Nets. I hope not. I hope
not either. I hope not either,
bro. People keep saying Cam MVP, but my favorite guy in the summer league has been DDJ so far. Like, I was big on DDJ last year, and people like kind of came at me because I said he was like, his ceiling is Drew Holiday, and I still think his ceiling is Drew Holiday. Like, he could be that if his offensive game comes together. He's already got the defense. Like, his defense is nice. If his offensive game comes together, he hits a consistent three, has pull-ups. He can. Drew Holiday is his ceiling. Trust me, y'all. DDJ got it.
Yeah, he's been the most like. I mean, listen, like Cam, like people. This is what drives me nuts. Is it's
the Cam stands? Go talk about it.
No, it's not that the Cam. It's not like a Cam stam. It's just like all they see is like the points, right? They didn't see like the highly inefficient scoring in the previous game, like this percentage rate. Like, and yeah, I love that he can get to the rim. Like, my only thing, and that's all I've ever said, was just like, bro, like he needs to learn better shot selection so that he can, like, when he comes into the NBA, because we know he's not going to get this amount of time and this many shots. Like, he just needs better shot selection. And then people get all butthurt and up in arms. And it's not like saying that doesn't mean I don't like Cam. It's just like, bro, if you want to be that guy, you want to be that six man, like, you're going to have to be a little bit more effective with your shot selection and not take so long to get warmed up. Right. Yeah. I don't think that's a bad thing. But then I'll say something like, right, like Kessler obviously has looked better in the last, like the last game he was hitting a couple shots toward the end. And then this game he hit a few shots that made me feel a little bit better. I just felt like DDJ with you, like what you're saying, is he's looked all around pretty poised and comfortable. And I like that about him, right? He's making different decisions. He's being active at the rim. Yeah. He's playing good defense. Like, he's playing some of the best defense out of everybody out there, except like Kessler and Dayron.
He's a two-way guy.
Right? Yeah, he's a two-way guy.
I love about him too is like he has really good court. Like, people forget he's a real, like, he can play point guard. Like, he has good court vision, and he can start that fast break for us. So he could be another option of a kind of like
Kessler.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. No, I'm just saying, like, because Kessler, like, he's shaky. He still has that.
He can't dribble really. He can't really dribble.
Yeah, he can't dribble. And then he, like, somehow when he gets into, like, around the free throw line and he's either driving in or deciding to pass it or put it, like, he doesn't know he still doesn't know what to do. And that's a bit concerning, right? Like, that concerns me. But he kind of looks the same to me as he did last year. Dayron looks like a lot better movement with his ball, but he's still I think he's still like too much energy sometimes around the hoop, where he's not concentrating on what he's doing and he's still giving it up.
He seems like he doesn't know what to do. Like, like when he catches the ball, it's like he thinks about it too much. Like, catch the ball, make your move, go. Catch the ball, shoot. If you're open, just shoot the three. Don't think about it. Just shoot it. You know what I'm saying? Like, make your move, make them precise moves. But that's gonna come with time. Like, I still like how he looks.
Yeah, I mean, you could pick and point. Like, when you look at these guys, you could tell there's a lot of the same stuff that we saw last year, right? And then according, it's like, it's just I've realized that you can't talk about any player without butthurt. Like somebody gets butthurt in the chat about Cam, like a Cam stan. It's like the second you say something he needs to work on, or any of these other players, Kessler, like people get butthurt. It's like, dude, if you can't look at these players and realize where they need to improve without taking it personal or being like, oh, you just can't wait to talk shit on him. It's like, bro, like these guys are not going to be like eating 25 to 30 minutes a game. So you have to hope that they can improve in certain areas so that when they do come in, they're being effective, right? Like, and you just, I'm sorry, if you can't see that about like Cam, if you can't see that about like DDJ, or you can't see that about Kessler or Dayron, like that's your problem. But like these guys all around need to continue to work. And I hope that when they go back, what up, B? I see you there. When they go back, and I just hope that depending on what happens with the KD and Kyrie situation, that you can actually, like, there's something around them that they can learn from, like veterans. Oh my God, Chubb still got those glasses.
Yo, those glasses are fire, bro.
Can
Those
you
are
see
fire.
through those, bro? Can you see through those?
There's slits. Like there's, I don't know if you can see, but there is slits on the back. I'm wearing
That's
this
fire,
with the
man.
whole until
That's
it dies.
awesome,
I'm wearing
but-
the whole fucking truck.
No, these, I just hope.
Dies.
Yeah.
I just hope these guys have a good group of guys to go back to, depending on whether KD and Kyrie are traded. Like, I hope there's some decent veterans that they can learn from.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure about how our coaching staff is going to play out. Like, I literally felt like
disgusting.
I was
Coaching
watching
staff
Nash 2.0 tonight, and it's like,
Yeah.
No timeouts.
This
What is
coach
he
did
doing,
nothing to put these guys in a position to win, right? Like, I don't see you pulling over Cam and saying, hey, get people more involved. I don't see you
just do something different, like
defense.
do a
Yeah,
2-2-1 full court press.
like the
traps,
Williams guy. He could have been your ball. Like, who was the other guy?
Trap somebody. You know, just
Yeah,
do
like
something.
nothing.
Do something. Somebody. Yeah, do double team somebody. You know, just mix it up a little bit. Your defensive
There
coverage.
didn't seem to be any.
Go zone. Do something.
But here's
Yeah,
the
there
thing,
didn't
though.
seem to be any like really coaching going on, because it was pretty much like the same thing. Like, bring the ball up. Cam's got his
Right.
hand out for the ball. Go
Right.
ISO. Maybe pass it. Maybe look for something. And it just like it's just like, you know, like, I'm sorry, like, and then people say, well, it's just summer league, but look at the other squads.
Yeah.
Look at what the Grizzlies, like, look at how they were playing. Look at how these other squads are playing. And these guys, like, I'm sorry, a bunch of these guys that we're playing are no better than the guys that are on our team. Yeah, there's some in other teams that are better, but it's like, at the same time, like, you can just completely see the lack of a system. And it's like, if you want to make these guys better, yeah, it's one thing for them to individually go work on shit during the off season.
Yeah.
But if you're failing them as a coaching system, like, how are they supposed to get better?
Everybody's got to be on the same page. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like I said this before in the beginning, Memphis is from the drafted rookie to the starters to the head coach. Everybody's on the same page. They all know what to do. They all have a system. You see John Morant, Dylan Brooks, Desmond Bain talked about it. He said, listen, this summer league was very important to me last year because that's when Desmond Bain kind of like blew up in the summer league. You saw the year he had. He had a great season. So it's like, it kind of like builds that momentum, builds that chemistry you need to go straight into the season as a young player, you know?
Yeah. Real quick, shout out to Mr. Mailman. John Moran is the real GOAT. I noticed there's a couple like Grizzly fans are trying to troll on a summer league game. That's awesome. Not you. I think that's funny. Appreciate
I already
the
congratulated
super
them.
chat.
I said, you
Yeah.
guys,
Like,
good job of it.
like, this is really not a thing to like troll on. Like,
Yeah, you don't.
but shout out to T-Rex. Cam is inefficient all summer. Gray does not deserve a two-way. How the hell is Capricorn promoted? No
Everybody
wonder
says his
Kai
name
and KD
different.
don't trust the
Oh,
front
man.
office. We need a big shout out to Rex.
Shout out to you, T-Rexy. Yeah, I don't know how he got that promotion. I'm like, the reason, well, we all know how he got that promotion. I think because it's Sean Marks' guy, but I don't understand.
What is his job on main staff after summer league though? Because this is what scares me. Jordan Ott was our coach in summer league last year.
Oh,
He
yeah.
was our main offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
And this guy looks worse than Jordan Ott. I don't know how you managed to pull that off.
Well, thank God we
How
got
you pull that
Igor. Igor is going to be the offensive coordinator, but Capricorn, whatever his name is,
K-Porn.
I hope
is
he's
what
not.
they call
He's an
it.
assistant
Is that
coach.
really his name, K-Porn? Is that how you say it?
Caphorn?
Is it Caphorn or K-Porn, or is that what Brandon's just calling him?
I think it's Caphorn.
I think it's Caphorn, something
Caphorn.
like that. I don't know.
Caphorn, or oh, God help us.
Yeah, but I hope he's not like the defensive coordinator or anything. But I just know he's an assistant coach. I don't know what his job's going to be.
Yeah,
You know?
no, I'm just saying, like, there is a clear, like, listen, for all the shit that people talk on wanting to get rid of Katie and Kyrie and bringing back that, like, I guess I'm just concerned about, like, the things that people are saying where it's like what, like you really are advocating, like, do you not see how bad the coaching scenario is, like, with the head coach? And then, like, you look at this, like, the fact that people think, the people that want Katie and Kyrie gone that are supposed Nets fans, it's like y'all are like looking at that thinking that's the problem. But like it amazes, and maybe I would give you a couple spots with like, hey, you have a point here, you have a point there. But to completely look at like our coaching staff and think we're totally good and things are just going to get better because we quote get guys that want to be here or whatever dumb reason people are using, like, just blows my mind. Right? Like, what's going to be the excuse when we trade Katie and Kyrie and we get all these guys? Like, you're only going to be able to use the excuse, well, it's a new team, they're young. You're only going to be able to use that so long before you actually see, hey, we have a coaching system problem. And I think people are going to learn that the hard way once Katie and Kyrie leave. I'm not 100%. I think we're all probably sitting up here wondering at what level of return are we going to get, right? Like, you just don't even know what you're going to get if that happens.
Yeah. I personally, I still think there's I think there's hope that they're both going to stay just because of the market right now. And shout out to, I forgot which podcast I was listening to, but the Rudy Gobert trade really kind of like helped Katie. Well, helped us.
It helped and it didn't help.
It helped and it didn't help because it shot Rudy Gobert's trade just dismantled everything because people were. I think Sean Marks was ready to give up Katie for some BS. But when he saw that Rudy Gobert,
but
5 first round picks or whatever it was, 5 picks, he was like, "Whoa, hold up."
Yeah,
Rudy Gobert's getting those picks,
but
man,
here,
Katie, go ahead, Joe.
Regardless of that trade, you trade KD for King's ransom.
Yeah,
like Rudy Gobert was kind of just the alley-oop to really solidify, this is what KD is worth. Even if the trade didn't happen, you trade KD for literally nothing. It's a fireable offense.
That's what I was afraid of, bro.
Whether that's what I'm afraid of.
But I cannot. And what sucks too is that you look at the Minnesota was looking to make a splash, and you could easily say that they overpaid, right? Like, I definitely think, like, for as much crap as Gobert gets, like, he's still good in a lot of ways, right? Like, as much crap as people give him, there's still positives to him. And I just think that Minnesota wanted to make a splash. I don't know why they chose it on him, but I don't know if it's more of like, I get why they definitely, I think, overpaid, but
I don't see that working because you got Rudy and you got Cat, so it's like,
but doesn't that free Cat up to do some other shit?
Yeah. How I see it, it's kind of like what the Lakers did with Dwight and McGee and having AD switch to that 4. Switching Cat to that 4, because if we really want to talk about it, he's really not a 5. He doesn't have the stature to really be a 5.
Yeah, he's more of a 4. He's a power forward. Yeah.
He's a big with guard skills. Like, he's in that category. So moving him to that 4 really opens up. And what better than to put a multi-time defensive player of the year next to him? So it's a.
I see what they're trying to do, whether it will work or not.
Yeah.
Well, that's remained to be seen.
I don't like I said, I don't think it's gonna work because I think Rudy Gobert gets picked on defense, and I feel like he's gonna have to get sat like a couple times. Like, they're gonna get him. But we'll see. We'll see how it works. Make sure you guys hit that like button. We're talking Brooklyn Nets versus Memphis Grizzlies. We lost 120 to 84.
Aldama.
Shout out T-Rex. He said Santi Aldama over. yo, T-Rex. Did T-Rex just say Santi Aldama?
I don't even know that. I'm not even going to pretend like I even know who that is.
Shout out Santi Aldama. That's the I think he's the European guy that was on the Grizzlies. European guy on the Grizzlies. He was nice, bro. He was hitting shots. He had a couple of rebounds. I forgot where what countries he's from. If you know what country he's from, put it in the chat. But he's good. He's good. He was a good player.
Santi Aldama. That sounds European, but
I mean, before we get into like really talking about other stuff, I mean, in a nutshell, when I look at the guys, I do see some slight improvements from everybody, but it's not like, how do I say this? I'm not like blown away by the changes. I do see some improvement, and I definitely think more will be had once the season starts, and depending who these young guys are around. So outside of that, I'm not like disappointed, but I'm not like completely blown away by really anybody on the summer squad, if I'm honest. Especially the new guys.
Which team do you think is better, the last summer league team or this summer league team?
Probably last.
Last year seems better. This team, last year's at least seemed like they had a little bit more of a direction from it coming from the coaching staff. And this team just seems like you're just running it out there, like just go play pickup ball. That's what it looks like. Like the defense, really no defense, really nobody that ball handles that well, right? Like the one guy that you could say really isn't playing that much.
It's no ball movement, nobody's cutting to the basket. Everybody just kind of sits there and we wait for Cam to do something special and we wait. You know, that's what it is. Shout out to Playboy. He said he's from Spain. Okay, Santi Aldama from Spain. Yeah.
Oh, so I was on it with he's from Europe.
Yeah. He was a tall. They interviewed him after the game. Yeah, he didn't. Shout out to somebody. He didn't miss a corner shot. Yeah, he's good, bro. He's good. Shout out to World. He said they just approved the transition take. Oh, really?
Oh yeah, I did hear it. So like transition take fouls will now be a free throw and team possession. Yeah.
Really?
Explain that.
I don't like that.
Okay, so for those who don't know what a take foul is, how basically when a team's on a fast break, say the other team loses possession, team goes on fast break, someone intentionally fouls, that's considered a take foul.
Yeah.
There is a new rule in place where those take fouls now it instates you get one free throw and then you get possession. So now it's kind of just like it's more of a risk factor doing that now.
I don't like that though, because I want sometimes it is smart in like the fourth quarter. You want to stop a fast break. You don't want easy buckets, but now it's like you can't even do it. You just gotta let them score now because you don't want to give up.
You got to be smarter.
You want an extra point and then you get the possession back. It's like what?
But to be fair, it is kind of like that take foul does is like it's kind of rewarding bad defense if you really want to talk.
Yeah,
about
it is.
It is rewarding bad defense.
So in a sense, and you get away with and it slows the game down. And think about how many times that people would use that without any issue. So I get it. Like
because people don't want to sprint back on defense. They like it depends because sometimes you'll
and that's when some people get hurt too, though.
Yeah, you'll do the take foul if like let's say they get a steal and nobody's behind you. That's when I think the take foul is like okay, you can do that. But if people are behind you running with you, you shouldn't do the take foul. Like if you're running back on defense, you know what I'm talking about. Shout out to Lou Bucks Elite. Kessler's been playing scary. Yeah, I just think that
too much hesitancy.
He just needs like I said, he just gotta keep working on that. He's not gonna really use a lot of handle when he's with us. He's more gonna be a spot up shooter. So I don't really worry about the handle too much, although he needs it. I just think all he needs is a pump fake, pull up dribble. You know what I'm saying? Because people know he's a spot up shooter, so he's gotta learn when people run out at him, pump fake.
I almost feel like dude is more confident shooting the three than he is actually going to the rim.
Yeah, he is.
And that's like a weird thing that I never like. I kind of thought I saw it going in reverse.
Yeah,
but it's just that for some reason when he gets in the paint, like his brain. He sometimes can hit the midi. He'll sometimes do a floater, but there's just too much hesitancy.
He just gotta learn that in between. Like if he just learns that middle, because he's gonna shoot threes and he's gonna hit threes. We know he can play defense. He's great at defense.
Yeah,
but he just needs that in between mid range. Like so, just in case, Joe Harris had to develop it too. like when people sprint at Joe Harris and he just kind of goes by them and then goes to the rim, kind of like that.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, he was pretty ugly at that too for quite a while. He got a little bit better at that.
Go to the rim at least, you know. And Kessler, you're 6'8", 6'9". You can dunk on people. You know what I'm saying? So, I was gonna say something too. I forgot. Oh, DDJ. Do you guys think DDJ should get a contract? A lot of people have been talking about.
Yeah, you're literally stupid to not offer him a contract.
I want to know. I mean, I think the thing that bummed me out with that was that I didn't know that he turned down the two-way. And to me, that's a straight. He's betting on himself, and I just hope that doesn't like.
It's weird because what I'm upset about is why did Sean Marks give Alondes a two-way so fast without him proving himself? Yeah. He didn't prove himself in summer. Like at least DDJ and Cass, they proved themselves in summer league last year, and then they got the two-ways. But they gave Alondes a two-way without him proving himself.
DDJ is like, I'm not going to say DDJ is, somebody said DDJ is not better than Bruce, but Bruce is, that's the other thing. I think, no offense, I think people overhype Bruce, like it'll be interesting to see how he plays over there. I'm like, he definitely wasn't worth no $18 million that people were saying he is, but, and I don't think it's going to hurt us that we lose Bruce. DDJ is a Bruce Brown light at this point, right? Like he's a little bit bigger, I think.
Bro, and he's doing this in his second year though. Like people don't understand. Like
Bruce wasn't doing stuff like he's better. Like I wouldn't put him that he's better, but from what I see,
he's not better. He's not better right now.
If he continues on the path that he's doing, like he could essentially do the same thing that DDJ can do. Yeah, I mean, that Bruce can do.
His ceiling is
I do, I do think, shout out to Lux Bucks. I do think DDJ is a little bit better of a shooter.
Mm-hmm.
He's a way better.
And a point guard. He's a better point guard.
He's a better point guard.
Respectful to say he's a Bruce Brown replacement.
You could make the case of going. You could make the case that they're like, I would give going to the rack for Bruce, definitely. He has really good energy. But I mean, listen, Nicholas, y'all, you can say we're tripping, but y'all are acting like Bruce Brown was like the fucking second coming of somebody. And it's like, dude, yeah, he's a hustler, but so is DDJ, bro. Like at the same time, it's like, yeah, Bruce was good, but it's like not for.
He doesn't have the ceiling that DDJ has, so I'm telling you, bro. He doesn't have the ceiling.
Are we really gonna?
Yeah,
is Bruce Brown gonna get the Landry
Shamet is treatment? Not far. That's what's even crazier. DDJ is not far off from what Bruce Brown provided. He's not. He's not far off from that. Not saying he's better. Not putting him on the same exact line. But like DDJ is not far from being what Bruce Brown was for our team. Like I'm sorry. Like if people think it's like, come on, dude.
And if you watch this game, he was playing great defense at a half court. Like the point guard was getting the Memphis guy on the Memphis point guard. He was struggling to get up to half court because DDJ was like on him. Like, you know what I'm saying?
You got a couple people that replaced Bruce. Like I liked Bruce, but like I'm definitely not saying DDJ is better than Bruce, but he's not far off. And to shout out to Duke of Quail, like Bruce was easily replaceable, i.e. Royce, i.e. DDJ. It's not and Bruce would have cut exactly. B, shout out to B. B said Bruce would have cost us $30+ million because of the luxury tax. Like, sorry, like that's just the reality of when you have at the current time 3 superstars. Like somebody's got to go. But to have somebody like DDJ kind of waiting in the wings, if we keep him, is not a bad thing either.
I definitely think I was really surprised we gave Alondes a two-way so fast without him. Like, how you all think he's been doing since these games you guys? I missed I think one game because I was
because you want to know what? Because of a lack of a system, we haven't been able to see what the new D Will is capable of. We haven't really been able to see what Alondes has been capable of. That's what's happening. What I'm seeing is that you're seeing the same few guys touch the ball, and there's really no ball moving things around.
I just for me it's like it's kind of redundant if we're gonna
John Doe. Go ahead. Come on, bro. You're acting like Bruce Brown is like some fucking superstar, dude. He's a role player at best.
We're not even
Like,
saying we're not saying
stop,
DDJ is
dude.
better than Bruce.
And I just said Bruce Brown is better than DDJ. Like,
Yeah, we're not saying that. Yeah.
Listen to what people are saying, but they're not far off from Bruce Brown. Bruce Brown is not going to reach another level. Like Bruce Brown is where he's at.
Yeah.
And you have a guy in your system that is like not far off from what Bruce Brown can provide. That should say something. Like, do we really think Bruce Brown is going to reach some magical level? Like, come on, dude.
I think he's gonna flourish. He was the most opportunity he was gonna flourish was on our team because of the system we had. I don't think he's gonna I think he's gonna do well in Denver, but I don't think he's gonna do as well as here because Denver. When you got Jamal Murray coming back, got Jokic, like they got a lot of guys that can, they might not need Bruce to do as he might not be a impactful guy on offense as he was here. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I don't. It's just funny. Yeah. Like some people in the chat just like say something, but they offer no.
Don't worry about
no,
it.
nothing.
You know how
oh no, I
it's
don't.
The same
care.
thing on
It's
Twitter,
funny,
bro.
dude.
People on Twitter like they go on their burners.
You know what this reminds me of? Remember when those random Landry Shamet stands came in?
This is like the same argument. Like people are like hanging their hat on Bruce Brown. Like, oh my god.
People go on Twitter and go on their burners, and then people go on Twitter and they don't even follow you. But every time you post, they'll be like, "Get out of here! You don't know nothing about basketball." It's like they're following you, but they don't follow you, but they're following you every day. It's like I don't know how, but it is what it is. It's just how the internet is.
I know. I'm just like, I don't know. I just can't listen. Bruce did what he did when he was here, and it was great. I think he reached a ceiling. We saw him for the last few seasons, struggle, get good. Like he's gone back and forth, right? And then once Harden left the team, you saw a different Bruce Brown. That's great. Like we needed it. But outside of that, are we really trying to act like Bruce Brown is going to hit some next level?
Yeah.
How old is he? What, 20, 24, 25?
He's like 25, I think 26.
25, yeah.
I mean, it's not that. It's now, but I don't.
Yeah, and his hand, Bruce Brown got to work on his handle, bro. His handle is horrible for a point guard, bro. If he is a point guard, his handle is.
Well, they did run him for a little bit. Remember, there was that stretch where we didn't have a ball handler, and it was pretty much Bruce.
Wait, he was getting ripped. Remember in the ball? Yeah, there's a reason
we stopped doing.
Remember in the Celtics series, he was getting ripped. They made him look crazy. Like Jason Tatum was ripping the ball. Jaylen Brown was like, "Give me that!" Like it was bad, yo.
Yeah, but there was no.
I
don't know why y'all are capping for Bruce like this so hard.
No, don't worry. There's a lot of BB stands in the chat, bro.
No, I know, but it's sad. Like, what are you watching?
I will say this: it is kind of nasty. We didn't even offer him anything. I will say that.
Y'all coming at us.
It is
y'all
messed
coming at
up.
Sean.
We never offered him
exactly,
anything.
Chubbs.
Now here's a hot take. People won't.
Ain't he close to this with Clara Sai? Every time Clara Sai, Bruce Brown right there. It is crazy. We never.
Y'all Bruce Brown stands in the chat. Y'all love Bruce so much. Go to Sean Marks and come at them for not even offering him anything. Y'all love Bruce more than you know what I'm saying. Go at. We didn't even offer anything.
Gouache, I know you're trying to say some shit, but it's pretty much pathetic and falling on deaf ears. So there's your one shout out for the stream.
Shout out Gucci Lightyear. He said DDJ shot creation is way better, especially since he's added a 3. He's been creating for himself from the perimeter. I've seen him hit step back 3s and hitting off screen 3s. It's improving. Bruce was never doing that. Yeah, Gucci Lightyear, shout out to you, bro. Yeah, like I said, I'm okay if we give DDJ a contract. If we can't find a backup point guard, I'm okay with DDJ being the backup point guard and then using that other roster spot for a stretch 5.
Oh, here's a hot take. Would you rather have kept Bruce Brown over Patty Mills?
Yes.
Yeah.
Not even no brainer. But
it depends. It depends how because you know how Sean Marks is the way he does the roster. He be signing 6.
See, I would have rather kept Bruce over Patty Mills. Quite honestly,
I think a lot of people would have kept Bruce over Patty Mills.
But Patty Mills is allegedly he's the Nets veteran leadership guy. And he's Sean Marks' guy, so he's not going nowhere.
He's the new Jared Dudley. That's crazy. He's the new Jared Dudley. I mean, let's not sugarcoat it.
Patty Mills is the new Jared Dudley.
Yeah, he's like that on-court coach, that on-court mentor. I mean, Let's not sugarcoat it. That's kind of what this is.
Yeah, no, that's true. Does
Nah,
anybody
the
know
new
what that
Jared Dudley.
soundbite is? I need to know if the chat knows what that soundbite is. Anybody know what that soundbite is? Play it again, AJ.
Yo, the new Jared Dudley, man. Shout out to Cypher. He said at least Jared Dudley was ready to fight.
Yeah. Patty would try to hold a communion. He'll try. Okay, let's just talk this out, guys. Let's come to a meet point. No, Jared Dudley will at least try to fight.
Yeah, that's a fact. Oh yeah, look at the chat. Yeah, shout out to the chat, man. If you join us right now, make sure you hit that like button. We're just doing a quick recap. We got punched today by the Grizzlies in Summer League. Cam led with 29 points.
We got more than punched.
Oh yeah, it was bad. We got beat down
83 to 120. Jesus,
it was like we were down by like 40
more than a
like
punch.
That. Yeah. Shout out to Luke. He said, "Man, who's really gonna be the starting center for Nets? I've been a problem for a while." Well, right now I think it's gonna be Clax. I think it's gonna be Clax starting, man. Dayron, I think if Dayron could compete for that starting center, go at it. Go at Clax in the training camp.
I mean, if everything remains normal and for some reason we do wind up having KD and Kyrie to start the season, I definitely think it's Clax. Like I like the improvements that Sharp is making. I think he's on his way, but I don't think Sharp's ready for that starting center position just yet. I think he definitely can get better, but I still like look at all these guys returning this year, and I still think they're at least another season away from really taking over a couple seasons from really like even being in that conversation of potentially taking anything over.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think, and I'd rather see Dayron come off the bench. Like after Clax goes to the bench, I want to see Dayron come off the bench. Like I want him to play, but starting, you're right. I don't think he's at that level yet. He's gonna be though. But I don't think
who's that.
And I think Dayron is his matchup. I think it's more matchup based because if we have a big body center that we're playing against, like
he'll come in handy for sure.
Exactly. I think Dayron will be used for like the Joel Embiids and the Brook Lopez or one of those guys that mix it up inside. Somebody said we haven't talked about Edmund Sumner. Oh yeah, Edmund Sumner, man.
Has he been out there? I haven't even.
No. Is
he still recovering or where is he?
He just recovered from I think he just tore his Achilles recently. Was it Achilles? Yeah, it was his Achilles.
Yeah, it was an Achilles.
Now what's confusing is I thought he was 6'6", but the NBA.com, I thought he was a wing when I first heard the signing. I was like, oh, he's a wing, but I think he's more of a shooting guard, kind of like Karis. He's kind of like that Karis LeVert kind of mold, and he's 6'4". NBA.com has him at 6'4". But shout out Ghost Killer. Yeah, he can defend and shoot the three. When he was on the Pacers and he was really good. I
think they're saying it was an ACL. I don't think it was an Achilles.
Was it Achilles or ACL?
Let's Google.
You just Google it for me.
I thought he was recovered from that, but it's interesting that they picked him up. I don't know.
Left Achilles tendon.
Achilles tendon.
Okay, Achilles tendon.
I thought that's a rough one.
I thought we could have used the TJ Warren. I love the TJ Warren. I had TJ Warren on my list.
Fire pickup.
Sumner was like a little confusing to me. I was like, it's like I feel like you could have used it on at that time. Otto Porter was still available. Who else was still available? There was a couple of guys still available by the time.
Gallo was available too. Yeah,
Gallo was a little.
I know you guys had your list and they all went somewhere else.
Yeah, everybody went somewhere else.
The pivot was crazy.
I was shocked we got TJ Warren. I was really like, I looked at my phone. I was like, what? TJ Warren?
No, I thought we could have gotten him because I don't think anybody else would have picked him up.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's a low risk, high reward with TJ Warren. Shout out Easy Money Sniper. He said y'all sleeping on Summer, man. Sumner. He's nice and explosive. Yeah,
well,
I gotta watch my film.
But is that Achilles? Is that Achilles gonna kill that explosiveness though?
He's still dunking. There's a lot of videos of him dunking now.
Yeah, he recently had a little.
So he is playing. Okay, because I haven't seen it. I just know he went down. We had him. We let him go. We picked him up. I assumed he was going to play there, and I kind of forgot about him.
Somebody said I'd rather give Sumner a spot to. No, the thing with Sumner, he's not a point guard. He's not a point guard. He's kind of that guy you just give it to him on the wing and he'll slash. He can get to the bucket. He can spot up, shoot. He can pull up. He's one of those guys. Like I said, Karis LeVert. He's not like a point guard. Like a put somebody in their spot. I'm gonna have 8 assists kind of thing. He's not like that guy. That's the thing. That's why I said if we're gonna use a roster spot for DDJ, I'd rather DDJ be the backup point guard. Sumner will do his shooting guard thing when he comes off the bench. Shout out DJ. He said, I don't see him being exposed to Torres Achilles.
Do you think we're going to see him at all in this summer? Because what? We got 2 or 3 games left. Because I know we didn't have
2 more games left. It's like 4 games.
No, he's not playing the summer. What year is he? Is this his second year? Or his third year? I don't even know. I know he's still young.
Well, I know when we traded for him, I don't know if he was I'd have to look at his thing.
Yeah, I know he's still young, but I don't think he's going to play in the summer league. Somebody said when DJ don't meet y'all expectations or placing Bruce, don't be mad. We have no choice though.
But we said it earlier. You bring in, you're adding somebody like Royce. You potentially have somebody like DDJ. I just don't think you're going to. I just listen. Bruce had a value. He did something for this team, but adding some of the players that we added, I don't think we're going to miss them, especially if we have Katie and Kyrie. Now, if Katie and Kyrie get traded, none of what we're talking about in the chat or here really matters, whether we have fucking Bruce Brown or DDJ anyways, right? Everything is going to change and the whole lineup's going to change and our needs are going to completely change, right? You're completely wide open, but if we're going into the season with Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, and you've brought on some of the players that they've brought on so far, we're not going to miss Bruce Brown that much. No. I mean, come on, dude. Really? Are we it's not like Bruce Brown is going to win us the game all that. He was
we're fighting
role player, but
you guys want us to fight for Bruce Brown's honor when the Brooklyn Nets didn't even fight for his honor. They didn't offer him anything. Why y'all want us to fight for his honor?
I just said I would rather have Bruce Brown over Patty Mills, but I mean,
you feel me? Y'all want us to fight for his honor. The Nets didn't even offer him anything.
I just don't know why. Bruce Brown was a liked guy. I get it. People liked him. Nets fans liked him. I liked him. I didn't have a problem with him, but I'm also not going to sit here and pretend like Bruce Brown was the guy that was moving the needle out there for the team. Come on. Yeah. Especially if you got Ben Simmons. That's the other thing. We're adding Ben Simmons. You've added Royce. You have potentially to add DDJ. We are not going to miss Bruce Brown.
Yeah.
It's come on.
Yo, shout out Ghost Kill. He said they didn't even thank him on social media.
Exactly. Yeah. Where were all you you people in the chat that are how dare you? You guys don't know Paul because
that's
you don't
crazy.
Want
I forgot about that because usually you know how the Nets be thank you, Bruce, or thank you, whoever leaves. I think they even said thank you, James Johnson. They said thank you, James. And they didn't even say thank you to Bruce. They didn't say thank you to Bruce. How you not say thank you to Bruce? How you not, after all Bruce did for this team, how you not say thank you to him? That's crazy to me, yo. That's crazy.
I don't know. I just think the more and more I look at it, I just think there's some serious Nicholas Reed, get over it, dude. You don't listen. I just listed 3 players: DDJ, Royce, Ben Simmons. No, Nicholas Reed. He's not trolling. Yeah.
The troll music has been activated.
He's still some people are still mad. Oh my God, Bruce Brown, dude, we're gonna fucking suck if we lost Bruce Brown.
Yeah, the chat is really trolling us right now with the Bruce Brown.
I know, it's hilarious, dude.
Oh my God!
Here we are facing annihilation, and people are fucking whining about Bruce Brown.
Bruce, I'm saying,
we're about to be at the close to a play-in any day now, right? And people are whining over Bruce Brown. Clearly,
crazy,
the rest of the league didn't think Bruce Brown was worth $18 million, like some of y'all did.
Bro, I was shocked
like,
that he
just get
signed for
over
that too.
it.
What's he getting? Like even Patty Mills is getting
Now,
paid.
see, I love No Limit, but like this is a troll. No Limit, Bruce Brown, top 2 defender of all time.
Oh man, here we go.
No, but that's No Limit though.
Bruce Brown better than Tony
You're
Allen.
not Nicholas Reed. I don't know how you're keeping it
Bruce
real.
Brown better
like,
than the glove. What we doing? We talking
He said
about
Tony
of all,
Allen.
of all
yeah,
the
this
things,
chat.
like.
Oh, man.
We gotta stop reading the chat, bro. The chat.
I
is
know, but
rolling tonight,
it's
bro.
really Nicholas Reed, bro. Like he's like, you're all acting like tough, gritty player going to be replaced by like, bro, you're really gonna go hang your hat on this Bruce Brown thing? Like you're just not gonna let it go?
Yeah,
like,
unbelievable.
like, do you guys realize like we may not have a legit team like at all? Like it could happen any day. Could happen a month from now.
Yeah.
And we're worried about Bruce Brown and Patty Mills.
Bruce
Like,
Brown's
those
the
are
least
the
of my
fucking
worries.
worst of our
I'm over
problems.
here worried about
Least of
Katie
our
and
worries.
Kyrie staying. I'm not worried about no Bruce Brown.
Yeah. I will tell you this, dude. I am sick of stands in general. If you are a grown-ass man or woman and you are standing another man or like that, where you want to fight and you can't handle criticism about your quote favorite player, please don't talk to me. Like, exactly. Like, yeah, the broken nets. Exactly.
Yeah. We'll talk about so we talk about summer league. We'll talk about the latest KD Kyrie news. And if you guys don't know Scoop, shout out to Scoop again, yo. Scoop, if you're watching, man. Appreciate
I gotta hit him
all
up.
the
I don't know
drops,
if
man.
he's free, right?
Appreciate all the drops.
Come on.
Yeah, make sure you listen to the I posted it last night. Scoop did a full interview. Really good interview on Sirius Radio. He just gave a little bit more in depth about KD and Kyrie's feelings. Now, it seems like what Scoop was saying was what kind of got attention on Twitter, because a lot of people were like mad at Scoop for saying this. It was about KD and Kyrie wanting more diversity in the coaching staff.
That
more
got
people
all but hurt, bro.
Yeah,
when you posted that.
More, the comments was going crazy. They said they wanted more brown people that look like them. More black people in the trend, not just the coaches, but I think the overall organization. I think it's just something that Nets fans, Jay said this too, something that Nets fans don't want to really talk about, but they know it's happening. They know like Sean Marks is hiring certain type of people over and over again, and it's kind of like, how do you explain this? It's like when you go to your job, right? You want to see people kind of like you. It makes you a little bit more comfortable.
No, just say it what it is. Representation matters, bro.
Yeah, representation matters.
Representation matters. I don't care what it does.
And I'm gonna back up Scoop on this, because I know somebody that works in the Nets organization, and she's a black woman. And she told me that in the organization, it's a lot of foreign white men that run things in the organization. A lot of them, like, it's a heavy representation of them in the organization. They don't really hire a lot of diverse people in the organization.
Especially
so Scoop wasn't lying about
a city like Brooklyn.
In a city that you would think, right? In a city like Brooklyn, it would be. She said there was a lot of white European foreign men in running things around the organization. It's not, but yeah, like I said, that kind of got Nets Twitter in a kind of like a roar, or I don't know why people are mad at that. It's like it's just one of those things that people don't want to talk about. That's all.
Well, I think. Oh, and here comes Jay right on cue. I think you have a couple different things at play, right? Yeah. Like when it comes to the KD Kyrie scenario, where it's like, I think what we're talking about as far as the representation, I think is just one of the factors of what's wrong. Like why KD requested a trade was main number one thing is the Kyrie contract situation. That is, that's the main factor. But then I think there's all these other issues that go along that, like, once you put a microscope on things, stuff like this comes to light, letting go of certain coaches, the idea of representation, like different things that you kind of start looking at, and you're just like, yo, I'm not like really liking how this is
you throw
going.
that into the bag of ingredients for what's going on. You just throw that into. It's also one of the factors that are why the frustration is there, why the divide between front office and KD Kyrie is still there, because they're just not on the same page right now. You know.
Hey, real quick, Al. By the way, we decided to do a stream tonight. We didn't know if anybody else was going to do a space tonight, but we haven't streamed in a while, so we felt like hopping in
I
here
think
and just.
Brandon said he's watching the Braves. That's why he didn't want to go on.
So we haven't streamed in a little bit. We kind of wanted to.
Brandon locked in. He locked.
But hey, what up,
man?
Bishop 2 Black? Oh, shit.
Yo, Jay, that title is hilarious.
That is
We gotta drop the Kawhi laugh.
Yeah, I didn't even know I wasn't on mute. My fault.
No, that's all right.
At a hot time.
It sounded like crickets or something in the background. I don't know what. So it sounded like you were outside.
Jay's on a country, the mission around the country right now.
Yo, Chubb's glasses are killing me, yo.
Right?
Yeah,
bro. See Chubb's glasses?
No, it's lit, right?
Chubbs, put
the other part on it. Put the other part on, Chubbs.
Killing me.
Look at here. Chubbs is gonna put on what he did when we came into the stream.
Yo,
wait
when
till
we
you
first
see
came
what he
into the
was wearing.
stream, this is what Chubbs had on.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
No, this is amazing.
Yo, that's hilarious.
Fire. Yeah, those are fire. Yo, let me jump in on the tail end of what Saint was saying. Like, I don't know where y'all have went, and
We just started, Jay. We just started.
We were talking about the scoop. Well, what we were talking about before on Twitter, we were like, Scoop put out the video on our YouTube about the diversity with the Nets and Katie and Kyrie wanting more diversity in the organization, and how Nets fans were so angry at that in my comments and everything. So you can go in.
No, it's funny that you would say that, because I actually had this conversation. My children, the school, one of the schools that they go to, I had this conversation, and it's funny because representation matters. And like, I tweeted that, I want to say at least a year ago. And I was specifically talking about the Nets when I said representation matters, because if anybody knows Brooklyn is a melting pot of so many different countries and ethnicities, religions, sexes, sexual orientations. That's one of the things I love about my borough, is that, for the most part, we don't care what you are. I say this all the time. People that say I don't see color, you're lying. You do see color. Everybody sees color unless you're blind. What do you do after you see color? Because you see color. They don't say I don't see color. Yes, you do. What do you do after you see color? Now, there's something that oftentimes goes unsaid, but it needs to be said. If you see color and you do nothing when you know injustice is happening, you're as guilty as the individual who is perpetuating that injustice. Your silence is a decision, and it's a very vocal decision. So if you say nothing, you're complicit in the holding down another race, religion, sexual orientation, what have you. When it comes to how much of a melting pot Brooklyn is, Sean is showing you exactly who he is before the camera. I'm going to withhold saying certain things because I know this is recorded, but behind the scenes is even worse than what you see in front of the scenes.
And I was, bro, I was telling the audience, I was like, I could back up what Scoop was saying about the diversity part, because you know who I was telling about the woman that works for the Nets, and what she told me about who she's seeing every day. It's just foreign, Australian, New Zealand, or foreign.
And that
white
was during the season.
That was during the season when she told me that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's so many foreigners that work for the Nets.
And it's like
and we have so many unqualified individuals who work for the Nets, not qualified for the NBA. And that includes, and I'll say it on the stream, I don't care. That includes Adam Caporn. What has he done to become an NBA assistant coach? It's disgusting. Aside from being white and Australian, what exactly has he done to be an NBA assistant coach? The other guy, Hendry, who was hired as an NBA assistant coach, what has he done to be an NBA assistant coach? We have the worst coaching staff in the NBA, bar none. And there is no representation amongst our coaching staff for the most part. If you're gonna say, "Yo, we got Jacques Vaughn, we got RFK," that's Ryan Forehand Kelly. We got Royal Ivy. Okay, who else we got?
That's like 4 out of the whole staff.
No,
Like,
that's 3.
oh, it's 3. Man.
We got 3 out of the entire staff, and it's like, come on, man, that's not what Brooklyn looks like.
Nope.
Brooklyn
Jay,
doesn't only have blacks and whites. Brooklyn has Asians. Brooklyn has Latinos. Brooklyn has, you name it. Brooklyn has it. That's one of the things I love about my borough, yo. Every country is represented. So many. Yo, if you want to go to China in Brooklyn, you can go to China in Brooklyn and have a Chinese experience.
You can go anywhere in the world in Brooklyn.
You can get some halal. You can go down here with the Muslims.
Right.
You can
if you want to go to Russia in Brooklyn, you can have a Russian experience.
Jewish, everything.
Right. You can have a Jew experience. My borough is that thorough. And the coaching staff does not look like that at all.
I can't lie. There's no Australian parts of Brooklyn. I can't lie.
Let me read this super chat.
Really think about it. There's no Australian parts. We probably didn't look hard enough, but there's no parts of that in Brooklyn.
I don't know where I can go get a Foster's in Brooklyn. I just wow, bro.
Just when he get back home. Oof. Hey man, we got this conversations we're gonna have, man, because like I said, it's like and it's not that the fact that I don't need 25 black coaches, you know, or everybody got to be black. I just want people that can do their jobs, that are qualified for their jobs. Like Jay was saying, Adam Caphorn, I didn't even know when I first heard his voice like the other day. I'm like, wait, he's Australian? I'm like, what? And then it's like the fact that he gets an assistant coaching job, but there's tons of coaches out there that like actually put in grind work, going from head coaching to assistant head coaching, doing years of work that we give no interviews. We don't interview them. We don't give them a chance. It's like, come on, like, are we just hiring our best friends here, or we want people that are going to do their job, and qualified for their jobs? You know, he said yes.
And that's the thing is like race aside, we're not even hiring the best people.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's not. People. It's like bad enough that like that you're seeing the non-representation, right? And like I'm glad we're talking, because we were talking not only about this. AJ, you and I have had personal conversations. We've talked about this with Jay, me, and Scoop. I don't remember if you were there, like on his Spotify thing, right? Like it's been in the discussion, and you have somebody that you know works there and has been talking to you about this well into last season. So. Yeah, it does play a part. And, you know, I just think it's one of the list of things that you could find that there's an issue going on within the organization personally. But it's like we can't even hire good people.
Yeah.
Like at all.
Shout out to Karuri. He said, as a New Zealand Nets fan, I always just sit and listen during these parts. I'm not here to castrate. Yeah, we're not throwing no shade to New Zealand or Australia. We're just saying, like, there's a pattern of what Sean Marks is hiring. I know he wants to put his people on. We know you want to put your people on, Sean, but you got to give other races or other people a chance that are qualified for the jobs. You can't just give people that are your friends or that are from your country or that you know or you think that is right for the job. You can't.
And nobody's sitting here saying, Taka, that like New Zealand is racist or like Australia is racist. Like that's not even like what it's about. But if you look at if you keep continually going down and looking at the decisions, it does seem to always fit this certain type of person and thing. And it's not really like you're not really looking to, you know, outside of like what, KD's guy, the Harrington guy.
Harrington, yeah.
Like,
and Coach Eli Carter, I think Coach Eli got fired because of the vaccine. That's what the Scoop was saying. I think he got fired because of the vaccine. But he was another coach that
it just seems like there's this consistent idea. And Jay used to say it. Now it makes even more sense. Like when Jay used to say he's not a Sean Marks type of guy. No, Taka, you're good. I get it. It's just that there, and maybe I should say the better response is to keep it more singular instead of just like putting just saying like putting foreign people in that box, right? Yeah. Like I think maybe that's a better way to take that off. But to kind of singularly put it on and look at Sean Marks and look at like how they've been hiring and who they've been hiring. And what I've been seeing is that you seem to be more interested in hiring people that are either similar to you or friends from a long time ago.
Yeah.
That instead of actually going out and doing
interviews, like a regular business, do an interview, see who's the most qualified, see who you think was the best person in the job.
Do you know how pissed off I was when I saw that freaking that video of what's his name, Sam Cassell, roasting James Harden?
Oh yeah,
and making fun of him, like, yo, you're lazy. Your ass didn't even go for the rebound. So no,
he put Harden in his place.
He put Harden, exactly. And it's like, where? That's what we need.
Yeah, I told y'all. I told you I don't want to say
this is where the other part of representation, like where we talked about, it's like also, it's like, yo, like you need guys that are going to also get in the faces of some of these stars that they're going to respect.
But a lot of teams want to looking like they're trying to shy away from that. You see that in a lot of sports also now, where people are softer than anything, and it's like, why? And I actually wanted to ask a question, not only to you all, but for the people in the audience. It appears, and this is not something new, but it appears that people are uncomfortable with the conversation on race.
Yeah.
Why are you uncomfortable with it? You don't think I'm uncomfortable in my black skin? You're uncomfortable talking about it. I actually live this on a daily basis. You uncomfortable with the conversation. You don't even live it. How you uncomfortable?
I think you're seeing more of that. Like I noticed when you put it out and we talked about it, it got on Twitter. You saw a lot of people just like uncomfortable to even like have the conversation.
People
let
was
alone
tweeting me like crazy.
Yeah, let alone ask questions, right? Like, and to your point of like not seeing color, I think a better choice of words for people, it's plain and simple. Like you're either racist or you have prejudice or you're not, right? And if you're not and you're not uncomfortable, you're not going to be afraid to have the dialogue or ask questions about somebody else's culture or how they grew up.
Yeah.
And if you are, that just shows that you still have some hangups. Like there's nothing wrong with having the discussion. Like it is pretty amazing that like in this day and age with the differences of people and the, like all the things that you mentioned about Brooklyn, Jay, that people still get uncomfortable. And I think part of it too, though, and I'll speak obviously from a white perspective, but it's like I've noticed with people within my own community where it's like there's still a whole mix of people that still want to deny that racism is bad or that it still really exists. Like it always like blows my mind when I hear people like
they just
literally
ignore it. Yeah.
Well, no, but it's not even so much ignore it, or you'll see something on TV or you're having this discussion and then it's like, why do you always make everything about race, right? Like, or the white, all lives matter bullshit, right? Yeah. Like it's that kind of like
this argument to me. That's
what's
like
that?
The all lives matter. Yeah, in theory it's cool, but let's be honest, you're only saying all lives matter just to counteract black lives.
Exactly.
That's
exactly.
And that's what everything.
That's the part about the whole thing where I look at it too, and it's just like, it's like, bro, you don't even realize like your defiance to even have the conversation. And it's like, whether you agree or not, if you're showing adverse like reaction to it and being pissed or getting in an argument with somebody, that should probably tell you something.
Yeah.
Kira Clark, it's schizophrenia. No, it probably is.
Like I said, it shouldn't be. Nets fans shouldn't be shocked that Katie and Kyrie want diversity and want more people like that represent them, like represent their color in the organization. Like it shouldn't be a shock to Nets fans. So I don't understand why people are getting so angry.
Is it even fair to say, AJ, that to add on to that that there are people out there and whether it like no matter like who or what they are, like it just seems the inability to even now, because you let go of all these people, it seems like the inability to even have somebody they're comfortable with.
Yeah.
Like not even from a race that it's just
Not
like
even from a race. Yeah. I
like
just
they
want
don't
somebody I
even
could
want
talk.
them to be like
Yeah. It's like I just want somebody I could talk about ball with and that knows American. Like if all my coaches are foreign and Australian, it's like I want to talk to somebody about. He's probably not keen to what's going on, so it's like I want to talk to somebody that knows what's up. You know, it's just be more relatable. That's why I want somebody that's more relatable to me. That's it. You know, make sure you guys hit that like button. Yeah, everybody's blowing up about this Brian Lewis article that I guess it just dropped recently. It said Kyrie Irving wants to be a net with or without Kevin Durant. Ooh, New York
Whoa.
Post.
Where did that come from? Just
Yeah,
now?
that came out. Brian Lewis be dropping these out of nowhere, yo.
He be dropping those bombs.
Yeah.
But I feel like, but now that you mentioned that, I feel like we need to talk about it. And it's more so towards the reporting of this whole situation.
Yeah.
And I feel like every single report that comes out with it, one comes out, the next one comes out, contradicts that one, and then a whole new one contradicts both.
Oh yeah, these
And
reports.
you have to look at this. Everything with this reporting is so different from any other previous. With Harden, when he requested a trade, there was concrete stuff you could look at and say, okay, this is where it's going.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what the hell's happening here.
Yeah.
All we know is KD requested a trade, and there's just dialogue between teams. We don't even know what a deal's going on. We just know certain names have been thrown around. But at the end of the day, it's more just hindsight, what could happen, or what is the potential.
Yeah, and they're not even reporting it correctly, because we just had an argument with somebody the other night, like in Spaces, where it's like, okay, Kyrie has not come out and said, I don't want to be a net. He hasn't come out and requested a trade. The team told him. And the team is the one that said, hey, if you want to seek employment somewhere else,
it's really the team that's shopping Kyrie, when Kyrie was literally like, I'm opting in. I'll see you guys at training camp. That's all he said.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't know how valid this article is. I have to read it. But
I'm gonna run it by Scoop, because, like I said,
that has to be an extreme positive.
Yeah, I trust Scoop with Kyrie's news more than Brian Lewis. So.
Hold on, what are y'all saying happened?
So Brian Lewis,
go ahead, Sam.
Yeah, Brian Lewis put out a article that dropped about 11 minutes ago, and it said Kyrie wants to be a net with or without Kevin Durant. I haven't read it, but it pretty much came as a New York Post. It dropped 11 minutes ago, and it said he wants to be a net with or without Kevin Durant.
Can I save this?
Of course, hop in here,
because we've had this conversation privately, and just so everybody knows, AJ, Saint, and I, we talk almost on a daily basis. Not that much recently, because Saint been back to work. I've been traveling, but we talk a lot.
On vacay.
Right. AJ gets been on vacay. Right. Last week, you damn sure were.
Yeah, you've been stuck with Brandon. Sorry.
Shout out to the DR. Shout out to the Dominican.
Yeah.
Yo, but we talk often, right? And this has nothing to do with us talking often. So sometimes I may repeat things, and I don't remember exactly where I said it. But I've said this continuously. For everybody who ran with the narrative of Kyrie was who said that last week, that Kyrie always wanted to go to the Lakers and that's been his end game, and Nets fans ran with that. I don't remember who said that last week, right?
Who ran? Why Nets?
Everybody, dude. Laker fans have been saying it. A lot of people have been saying it. And it just had no truth.
I said that because, and like my 9-year-old is with me here, and I went to talk for a second, but he asks me a lot of questions about Kyrie and KD. And one of the things that I've said is that people constantly DM me, what's going on with Kyrie? Does he really want to go to Lakers? What are you hearing? And I've consistently said, from my understanding, Kyrie wants to be a net. And if you think he doesn't, because you want to believe whatever the latest story is, and I think Chubbs just said he opted in. And Chubbs, you're 100% right. I'm not shooting back at you. I want to add on that.
Of course, he cuts out. What did you just say?
Oh,
you cut out. Oh, okay.
No. I was saying, remember, because it's been documented by a number of people, Kyrie was negotiating between a 2 through a 4-year contract.
Yes.
Why would he do that if he wanted to go to the Lakers?
How does
something like that make sense to you?
Yeah.
But see, then to your response,
got to use common sense.
somebody will say this, like, shout out to Pete. Pefel Ram, the report is bait to put pressure on KD to say something. Like, how do you know that?
Probably an educated guess. That's probably why. But at the same time, it's kind of like
that's just his made up.
you don't think
He's
they've
just
talked
making that
already?
narrative.
Like they
You
probably
guys are
talked.
they literally
Yeah.
playing together in LA a week ago. Like y'all gotta
Yeah.
chill.
So even
What Jay was saying though about the Kyrie situation, what he's referring to is the Nets offered him a 4-year. First, they offered him a 2-year, I think, with incentives or something like that, and then they ran it back and they were like, let's offer him a 4-year. And I think Sane was talking about this on Spaces, a 4-year, but a lot of those years were incentive based on the games played. And Kyrie kind of like thought about it, and then he made a counter offer. That counter offer after the 4-year incentive that was declined by the Nets, and then that's, I guess, where the disconnect happened. But even then, with the disconnect, Kyrie wanted the max. He still opted in and was like, "I'm gonna opt in. I'll see you in the fall. I'll give you guys what you want. You guys want me to prove it? I'll do it." Boom. And people are still mad at Kyrie. So it's like, it's like, you guys, I don't understand where the Laker thing. I think Kyrie does have interest. If the team were to blow up, he would be interested in going to Lakers, but it's like that's not where he wants to be. He wants to be here. This is his home. He brought KD here to win a chip here. So it's like this thing that Kyrie wants to leave. I don't think that's like a total thing everybody's running with.
I think it's more so, do the Nets want to keep Kyrie? That's
exactly
where all this stands. And it's pretty much, I don't think the Nets want Kyrie, and that's kind of
Kyrie wants to be here more than the Nets want him to be here. That's what it seems like. You know what I'm saying? The Nets wanted to ship him more than Kyrie was the guy who's like, yo, I want to stay here, but the Nets want to ship him. That's what it looks like, Let me read some comments. Kyrie Irving MVP season incoming. Somebody's Haitian on the Nets? Who's Haitian on the Nets? You talking about Yves Pons? Is he Haitian?
He's talking about Summer League, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Anybody with the name Yves.
Yo, Sakafet to all my Haitians. Sakafet. In the chat if you're in Haiti. Lakers are worse off than the Nets. Why would he want to go there? Shout out Nami.
No one's talking about it. The Lakers are this close to having an internal civil war with the Bus family and Clutch Sports. No one's talking about
the Lakers are down bad too, bro. They're banking on Kyrie.
No one's
bro.
talking about that either.
They want Kyrie traded so bad to save their season. Like if Kyrie doesn't go there by the end of the summer, their season's done. They're they're gonna be terrible, bro. Kyrie came here to start his own team and not be in LeBron's shadow again. Yeah, and I think people are like overhyping him and LeBron's relationship. They're still cool, but I don't think they're like, yo, like, want to run it
really
back.
Talk about it. Do you feel like Kyrie is the guy to leave and take a $6 million deal to play with LeBron?
Nah. To play with LeBron?
Really think about it. As much as he tried to leave LeBron to take the massive pay cut.
That would be so weird, yo. He did all that to leave LeBron just to take a $6 million. Yeah, nah, hell no. Nah. Nope. Shout out. Who else is in here? Lakers are toxic, my holy king. Shout out Brendan. AJ, do you see our coaching staff realistically getting better for us to win a chip? No, I don't. This coaching staff is not good. It's not good. Well, I pray that our only hope. Well, I gotta see how Igor is. Once I see how Igor's system works, then I'll start talking about the coaching. But overall, it's still not going to be. I don't think our coaching is like Jay said. We have like one of the worst coaching staff in the NBA right now. So
we need a system, and ISO is not a system that works in the NBA right now.
Did you watch the game tonight, Jay, or no?
Of course not, man.
Oh.
Do you? Let me say this. Aside from the traveling that I've been doing, is anybody really familiar with the Grizzlies? With the Grizzlies young guys? They're substantially better than our young guys.
Yo.
What's his name? Lofton Jr. So half of our squad.
I tweeted this out, bro. They have the best development staff, recruiting. Like they are really they're on point, bro.
AJ, let me ask you, and I don't know what the tenor was before I got here. Did anybody expect us to win tonight? I know it's just summer league, but did y'all really expect us to beat the Grizzlies? I didn't.
I had hope. I had hope.
You
I mean,
did?
I did.
You delusional, man. Come on, man. I'm not playing myself. I
Yeah.
wasn't gonna waste 2 to 3 hours of my life watching what I knew was gonna happen.
Yo,
And
I
noticed the
texted
summer
Saint that
league,
Jay.
but
I
the
was like,
Grizzlies
I
are
wasted
way
time.
better than us, man.
I was like, I
Hey,
wasted time.
So I just heard back from Scoop, and I asked him. I said, "Hey, what's your thoughts?" And he said, "I said truth," and he goes, "Yes." So people were attacking Scoop about what Brian Lewis just said, right? About Kyrie wanting to be a net and with or without, like staying, and that's been Scoop's consistent message about Kyrie. And people are just like, "You're full of shit. He wants to be like." So it's like here you have another reporter saying essentially the same thing. So some of the people that I know people in chat have been talk shit about Scoop. Like some of y'all owe the man an apology.
Yeah.
Honestly, saying like personally, let them just
No.
But at the end of the day,
Hey, but listen, like if you're
they're-
gonna, but
they're
see the
still
way
following
Chubbs,
him though. They're
if
still
you're gonna be
following him.
loud enough to speak and insult the man and say some shit, and then some of the shit that I've seen in chat that people have said about Scoop, like if you're gonna be that bold, be man or woman enough, like grown enough to actually admit when you're wrong and say some shit. Because like if you're a friend of mine, especially like because I've become really good friends with Scoop outside of just talking about sports, like in general. Like y'all are my friends. Like if people come at you like in a crooked way, like I'm gonna stand up for you regardless, right? Like even if you make a mistake, or even if say Scoop put like the wrong thing out there and it wasn't right, like I'm still gonna be like that's still my friend. I'm still gonna like him, like, but it doesn't mean you turn around and you eviscerate somebody and like say all kinds of foul shit about somebody because you either A don't like their reporting or B they got something wrong. It's just like that's been something that's been out of hand. But it's like here's some more news where that backs up what somebody put out there.
People come at Scoop. Every time I post Scoop, is like he has like these haters that comment on my page and be like, "Oh, he got no sources, he got nothing." Like, y'all gotta relax. Like, at least listen to what he's reporting first and then respond. Before y'all just quick to say he doesn't know what he's talking about. Like, come on, y'all. Scoop has been working his whole life to be, a really, really good reporter, and he has sources. If you don't think Scoop doesn't have sources, you're just dumb. Like, come on.
And to be fair, what makes this even more boggling, they'll still in the same breath turn around and believe some random ass radio host in Phoenix.
Yeah.
Like what the hell are we talking about?
They'll believe a Phoenix beat writer that just got on the job before they believe Scoop, who's been doing this for his whole life, who's been covering, he's been on the Nets. The Nets gave Scoop his first big break. Come on.
Not even a beat writer, a radio show host. A radio show host. It's not even funny.
Yo, can I say something since we going there tonight on race? Can I say something with respect to Scoop?
Yeah, go ahead.
And actually with not only with respect to Scoop, but with respect to Christian Winfield also. Can I be honest about something?
Of course.
For the people who are making the comments that you're making in the chat, and people who make the comments on Twitter, what have you, the number one reason why a lot of people are making these comments about Scoop specifically and about Christian sometimes when they come at him, y'all doing it because they black. And nobody really wants to have that conversation. But Woj has lied to you. You don't come for Woj's neck. Shams lied to you. You don't come for Shams' neck. Nick Friedel has lied. You ain't came for his neck. Shams went on that Pat McAfee show and said Kyrie would not be playing unless he got vaccinated. None of y'all came for Shams' neck.
Exactly.
Show me which one of y'all came for Shams' neck when he said that. And we got him on recording saying that. None of y'all came at his neck.
Woj has been wrong tons of times too, and they don't come at Woj. They don't come at Woj.
Woj has constantly lied, and y'all don't come at his neck either. But the second that you feel the Scoop is lying, you keep coming to his neck. Yeah. Show me the tweets that y'all have come at Woj and Shams' neck. Please at me in every tweet that y'all have. And if you have if you've shown the same energy towards them as you show towards Scoop, then I'll be like, you know what, cool, you got it. But if you have not shown the same energy, you're doing exactly what I said.
Exactly. Fronting, bro, fronting. And it's like, yo, Woj just looked you right in the eye. He looked you right in the eye on TV and said James Harden is not getting traded. James Harden got traded. Nobody said nothing. Nobody was like, whoa, nobody came out and nothing. But when Scoop reports Kyrie wants to be in that, oh, Scoop, you don't got no sources. Scoop, you don't know what you're talking about. Get out of here. Like, come on, y'all. Y'all gotta stop this.
Yo, but how does Scoop not have sources? And we saw the man interviewing how many people at the NBA Finals?
Yeah,
Exactly,
that's
bro.
my favorite, right? Like people in the middle of the finals were talking mad shit to him, and I'm like, and I kept like saying, like, I'm like, bro, like, dude is at the finals interviewing all these people, and when they see him, they act like they know him, like, so that's all an act. It's like,
Yeah.
like
He is a professional actor. If this is all an act, like, he's Denzel worthy. He done took his show on the road to the finals, man. He was coast to coast acting.
I'm gonna have to tell him
this
that,
man
bro.
is-
Like,
he's
Scoop,
a
you're
rapper.
Scoop,
He's
you're
a
the new
black
Denzel
boy.
Washington.
He's boring, man. Like, come on, man. Are y'all kidding me?
Yeah,
Um,
it is.
If
Who was the
anybody-
one to
if
implement the
anybody-
Kawhi laugh?
Oh,
That
Oh,
whatever. Yeah, that was AJ.
Okay,
he
that-
is a new Kawhi laugh.
All right,
Like
that does not surprise me.
Yo, if you're joining us right now, we're just recapping the game. Well, we recapped the game of what was the game, and now we're just talking about the new article Brian Lewis just dropped, basically saying Kyrie wants to be a net with or without KD, and also Brian Lewis just dropped. He asked the commissioner on Kevin Durant, or somebody asked the commissioner on Kevin Durant's trade, and the commissioner said, it's one of those issues that as we move into this collective bargaining cycle, we intend to discuss with our players association and see if there are remedies for this. We don't want to see it playing out the way it is now. Okay, Adam. So this makes me feel like there's going to be a lockout, man. The lockout is going to be, it might be next year. I don't know when, but the lockout's coming soon, bro. The owners I think are watching this. And I think they
Oh
want
yeah,
to
you just
control, man.
Brian Lewis dropped another one. That's what you just read, huh?
Yeah, when he
Okay.
said about he's talking about he said we don't like to see players requesting trades and we don't like to see it playing out the way it is.
Ooh,
Yeah,
wow! Like, is this like the NBA vibes stepping in too? Like,
they don't want this bro.
I'm seeing a whole lot of weird. Like, I'm not saying right. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
saying with this report that he dropped about Kyrie like this.
Mm.
I've been feeling like there's been some, like, how do you say, doors being left open by the organization by talking through certain reporters. Like, it does seem like a whole lot of noise, but it also seems like the door is being left open. And I always kind of felt through this whole process, there's more to this discussion than we're privy to. I did like what somebody, I can't remember the reporter's name, but he said, listen, that when this decision was made by KD, that you could say emotions were probably at their height with Kyrie not getting the extension and yada, yada, like that potentially this results, like as time has gone by, people have had some time to think, maybe they get back into the room, maybe they talk, and, there's a different attitude from both players and organization. And I hope that's the case. I really, because that's why, like, earlier today, I put out a tweet, like, because to me, Nets Nation is like really divided on whether this is repairable or not.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's repairable, but it just, I think most things are repairable in life, if depending on how willing you're able to listen to one another and actually try to work together to fix them. But if anybody in this conversation comes to the table and acts like they have nothing, like that their shit don't stink, I guess, so to speak, it's not going to work. Because I do think on some levels there has to be I've always been on the long standing that I'm not one of these guys that just says, no, it's all your fault and it's only you. Like, to me, I think there's plenty of like fault to kind of spread around, now placing the percentage amount on that's a different conversation, but I think everybody plays a part in it. I believe it is, but that's my belief. I can choose to believe that. I said nobody knows if it's right. Yeah, nobody does, but I can still choose to believe. I'm just what I'm hearing, what I'm seeing. I think there is a path forward. I think both the organization and the players benefit the most by staying together. Quite honestly.
Yeah, and I think KD and Kyrie want to be here. Like people keep. I know you guys are gonna watch First Take and watch Undisputed and all that, and they're gonna say KD and Kyrie are beefing. KD and Kyrie are not friends. They're angry. They want to do this. They want to do that. Like that's not the truth. KD and Kyrie are best friends. They love each other. They want to be in Brooklyn, but there's some disagreements going on with the organization and them. That's what it is. It's not really rocket science. It happens. Now, like Saint said, you can either be on one side, the front office side, or the player side, but there are problems all around, and until we get that fixed, if we get that fixed, we don't know. That's the thing. That's why Nets fans are going to be in panic all summer, which I hate, because we don't know what our future holds. Every day it could be somebody. You can get that alert. Every day I'm scared. I'm gonna look at my phone and I'm gonna see that Woj. Kevin Durant has been traded to the, I hate being in that panic. When I was on vacation, I kind of ran away from that panic, but now I'm back home. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, and yeah, and somebody's already tweeting at because I reposted said, "Did you actually read?" And I'm like, it actually says in the second paragraph. It actually says in the second paragraph, a source close to the team confirmed that they've been in contact with Durant since the trade demand stunned the NBA. Another source close to Irving told the Post that the all-star point guard not only never asked for a trade, but has every intention of playing for Brooklyn with or without Durant. But it's an opinion piece. Whether you believe that source is true, that's another conversation. But I think that's pretty fucking clear as day.
Yeah, and it's like I said, I want KD and Kyrie to stay. I know people want. There's some Nets fans are like, let's blow it up, let's get our team back, but that's not me, man. I want us to stay. I want us to run it back. I want us to sign a stretch 5, give DDJ a contract. If Melo was there, Melo was there. If Melo's out there, I'll take Melo too. And then that's what we have left of what the free agents are out there. I'll take that. You know what I'm saying? And
this is probably the best our team can get, trade or no trade.
Exactly. Thank you, Rich. Exactly. Because I don't think Sean Marks is going to make a huge trade. I don't think he's going to trade. I think he's going to trade Joey, but if he doesn't, then we're stuck with the free agents that we have in the market right now.
So, and I mean, even if you don't trade Joey, you still have the best 3-point shooter in the league. So, I mean, you're okay.
Yeah, still like I said, and if everybody healthy, I think this is a great team.
This is a championship team. This is exactly what this is. We just got
we have a lot of things to overcome.
TJ Warren on a fucking minimum.
Yeah.
Yo, that's there's still obviously there's stuff to be repaired, but I mean it's repairable. I mean, at the end of the day, if you go to KD and willing to give him a shot or whatever and doing all that, I mean you'll be fine. KD should know that this is his best chance to win. It's that simple.
Yeah. Shout out, Brandon. We got terrible. Yeah, we do. That's the thing. We have a great team, but we have a lot of stuff we have to overcome. Coaching, chemistry, that lack of culture. You know how all those good teams have a culture about them. Boston got that culture. The Warriors, identity. That's what I'm thinking for. Identity, culture. They have that thing about them that everybody buys into. We don't really have that. The Nets. It's sad.
But I often wonder, even though all the drama that we're hearing across the. Okay, do we have 2 J's in here?
I think he had to go. He probably had to add him. I don't know.
Jay, are you there?
Yeah, but it might be 2 me's because I heard it. I heard it before I came in, and I don't know what the hell.
Did you restart your phone?
I was wondering, did we get hacked and we're gonna have an alternative Jay that speaks?
Jay got cloned. That's why we saw Jay though.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Oh no, Jay, it was the black and white version of you. That's what it was.
Nice.
So everybody that thinks Jay is not black, everybody, thinks he's a
There's
white
two
guy.
versions of Jay.
Yeah, there's two versions of Jay.
Yeah. AJ, what's stretch 5 out there in free agency? I want Boogie. I'll take Boogie, man. I know he's not a Sean Marks type of guy, but I still want Boogie, bro. I think Boogie would give us a little bit. First of all, it would give us toughness, and then it'll give us a guy that could bang down low, pause, and then shoot threes, open up for when Ben is on the court. Shoot three. You guys, did you watch Boogie on the Nuggets? Yo, Boogie gave him great minutes on the Nuggets, and I think the Clippers, when he was on the Clippers, he was giving both of those teams great minutes. I'm not saying Boogie's gonna get a lot of minutes, but coming off the bench, I think he'll give us great minutes.
But how many? But are they going to allow Boogie to stay in the game?
Oh, but what's
Like, I'm with it, right? Like I'm all
cool.
for it.
I want Boogie to get a tech. Boogie,
I'm with it, and I'm all for
just
it,
one though,
but-
AJ. Just one.
Just one
But,
tech. Just one tech.
Like,
Don't do
how
two tech.
often is Duke going to actually be in the game before they tee that man up, dude?
Bro, he's gonna get a
They
tech.
got
every
it
game,
out
but I'm
for
cool
him.
with it.
Yo, but I got a question. What if somehow we resign LaMarcus Aldridge?
Nah, he's not
I think
coming
that
back.
shit.
How we gonna do that?
Oh, bro, it just somehow,
He's not
bro. That's what I
coming
said. Somehow.
If he's in the NBA, I expect him to sign with Boston.
Okay.
With the where?
Boston.
Boston.
Yeah.
Marcus not coming back. We did him dirty, yo.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, you know
Disgusting.
what'd be crazy? All these free agents would pretty much be on vet minimums contracts. Like TJ Warren, vet minimum.
Boogie.
Wait, is Edmund Sumner on a vet minimum?
I think he is too. Yeah.
Sumner, and that would be Boogie too. Like that would be it.
Oh, my fault. Thomas Bryant is out there. Thomas Bryant's in the stretch 5. That's
I
out
thought
there. We can
I
take.
thought he said-
No,
Nah,
but
he got-
Brian-
I keep forgetting about him.
Brian's
He got
with
picked
the
up by the
Lakers.
Lakers.
Oh, he got picked up.
Yeah,
Oh, when did he get picked up? I don't remember this.
like a week,
Lakers, yeah.
like 2 weeks ago or a week
Yeah,
ago.
For vet min?
minimum. Vet minimum.
What? For a vet minimum?
He joined the
Yeah.
Lakers, bro. They just
Oh, y'all didn't tell me this when I was in Dominican.
They
Republic.
they offered him that starting spot, bro.
How are he gonna sign with the Lakers?
Because it's the Lakers, bro. Come on.
Damn. Well, I guess Boogie's are only left. Boogie's the only stretch 5 left. Then I guess. Or you want Mike Muscala? Y'all want Mike
We
Muscala?
got
who
no
is Mike
options.
Muscala?
Literally no options at the 5.
We got
Does
no
anyone
options.
legitimately know who Mike Muscala is? Has anyone ever watched Mike Muscala play basketball? Has anyone ever did a scouting report and then mentioned Mike Muscala?
Muscala, bro?
No.
Mike Muscala, bro. I can't believe the Lakers got him for a vet. Then. Damn. So yeah, like I said, with Boogie, and y'all coming at Boogie like he's not gonna play no 30 minutes a game. All Boogie gotta do is come in, mix it up a little bit, stretch, hit a couple threes, get rebounds, and then he'll sit back down.
Hey, we paid our starters, so we're good.
Yeah, it's like y'all acting like Boogie about to like be out there guarding like Jason Tatum. Like y'all,
Yeah, unless we got Steve Nash's mastermind, then he won't be switched onto the perimeter guarding Luka or some shit.
Yeah, exactly. Ibaka re-signed with the Bucks too. He was on my mind too, but he re-signed.
I still don't remember him playing basketball in the past years.
Ibaka,
like, isn't this dude been injured for like at least 6 years?
Yeah, no, he is washed. He is a wash.
Yeah, there's like no point. And the thing is with Boogie is like he hasn't been injured in a minute. And he's been actually playing.
yeah, yo, I'm telling you, like when he was with the Nuggets and the Clippers, he gave them really good minutes in the playoffs. Yo, people keep like washing that over. Like he was dropping buckets.
Yeah, give him the minutes that Drummond was getting.
Yeah, if everybody was like, don't want Boogie, like what other choice do we have? Name me another choice.
At the end of the day, we need another big, and we need some more spacing to help out with Ben if we keep and we keep all the.
But let me ask you this, and I know Jay, you've had thoughts on this. Let's just assume Katie and Kyrie stay, right? Like, let's just say that happens. They figure it out. They're giving it another year to see if they can make it work. Do they move off of Joe Harris?
If it genuinely upgrades the team, I don't see why not. Like, because mind you, look at it like this.
Or Seth Curry for that matter.
But Saint, you have to look at this. They come back. Let's just safe to assume this is a last dance for the core, unless something good happens.
Yeah.
Unless we make the finals or win the finals, This is probably their last year if they decide to stay. So realistically, the ball is in the front office's court if they decide to stay. And if you move off Joe Harris, you got to get something that upgrades our team.
Yo, at the end of the day, if Kyrie wants to stay here, you can honestly hold KD and make him stay. He's got
exactly.
Contract.
Let's be honest, they have enough time to talk right now. They have enough time to.
They got enough time to talk, and I'm not gonna lie. I saw a scoop report that we wanted to get Bi, Larry Nance, and all that in picks, and they said no. I don't think you're gonna get a better trade than that.
Yeah, nobody's really comfortable with gutting their team for KD like right now.
Yeah, and if the Toronto Raptors aren't willing to give up Scotty Barnes, I don't want to see what other teams are willing to give up, because we're just gonna get lowballed at the end of the day if we try to make a trade.
If the reality of trading KD is reality and it does go that way, I think you're better off trading him at the beginning, like a little bit into the season, because I honestly think a lot of these teams were caught way off guard about the Kevin Durant request, right? And a lot of these teams have already had plans in place. And it's like you can clearly see some of them, they want Kevin Durant, but they're also not willing to give up on what they just worked on building. Because there's a couple of squads, like the Pelicans, like, yeah, it'd be great to get Brandon Ingram. But if like I'm a Pelican fan, or I'm looking at it from the other side too, though, kind of taking us back to pre-Harden trade, like I kind of want to see what Zion, Ingram, and McCollum did. Like as a fan, as a normal basketball fan, like I want to see how that works.
Yeah, but I'd ultimately.
And I understand it's Kevin Durant, but I'm just saying, like on some level, some of these teams have put in a lot of work, and I can understand the reluctance to gut your team to get KD. And I feel like if that trade is going to happen, I think it's better off at some point in the first half of the season, where maybe some teams are getting closer to the All-Star break and they're realizing, well, maybe this is not what we thought it was going to be. Let's go ahead and move off of this guy and that guy. And like, well, if we bring in KD, we can still be highly competitive and make it in the playoffs and make some noise. And who knows? Like, I just think you'll have a better chance of getting what you want in the season than you will right now. At least that's my shout out to Gino real quick. Cam recently rolled his eyes when he told about Nash's comments on this game. Do you think the coach might be reason KD wants out? Fan of the show, by the way. Appreciate your super chat. I think real quick, I think that Cam thing got blown out of proportion a little bit.
I agree.
I honestly don't think he was like rolling his eyes going like, yeah, Nash is trash. I just think that's part of his personality. He is young, and I really don't think he was like throwing mad shade at Nash. If you go back to some of his earlier comments where they did a press conference, he's been more mad at other people. It hasn't been the coach. He's been mad at the narrative that like
he can't pass.
Reporters and like scouts and different people have put on him. And that you can tell, like if you watch that interview, you can see it's really about that as not really Nash. But the other thing, bro, is KD likes Nash. People like can say what they want, but he's been on record from beginning of the season, middle of the season, an interview with David Letterman, and then one of his last interviews he gave at the end of the season when somebody tried to kind of do that with KD about Nash, and he said like he went straight to Nash's defense.
He can't like he's not gonna disrespect Nash but he's not going to throw him under the bus. If you ask KD in an interview, he's not going to say, I don't want him to coach. Like he's not going to say that.
But he's spoken on it without somebody really specifically asking him about it, like in a trash way. Like I guarantee you KD likes Steve Nash. Whether he likes his philosophy is a different question.
So you think
But he's been on record multiple times liking Steve Nash as a human being. Like you've heard him speak like multiple times on different aspects of Steve Nash.
I'm talking about
now whether he's at, but what was the last thing he said that wasn't like a big deal was like, hey, how can you fairly judge him when you've had all these things happen to us in the last like few seasons? So how can you really fairly judge Steve Nash as a coach with all the injuries we've had, the COVID situation, the shitty players put around him, right? Like, that's not my words. Those are KD's words. So I'm not capping for Nash, but like, I also think that's something that's getting blown a little bit out of proportion. I haven't heard anybody specifically say, hey, do you want to run something other than Nash's system? Like, that's a more interesting question, but I don't
think he's
Nash
all in on
work.
Nash like has everybody thinking.
No,
Yeah,
but dude, people have been trying to pit these stars, Kyrie and KD, against Nash, that there's a problem. And there isn't a problem between those two.
But Saint, you can't say that it was a bad look. It's definitely a bad look.
What do
And
you
to
mean
be
it's
fair-
a bad look? Oh, no, it definitely
I'm
is a
saying
bad
it's-
look, but I think it's getting
for
blown out of
your
proportion.
rookie to roll his eyes at the coach giving him advice.
Yeah, but go back
Nobody
to
be respecting
fair,
Nash, bro. Nobody
it's
respected.
but look
fair
at
advice
every-
for a player of Cam's stature.
Of
He
course,
is a,
but look at every
is
time
a
he
ball hawk to a
does.
degree.
But look
So
at
it
every time
is a
he
bad
does an
look.
interview.
It is a bad look.
But look at it. I didn't say it wasn't a bad look. I said it was gotten blown out of proportion. But look at every time he gives an interview after a game. The dude is straight cocky and overconfident. So it's not surprising that's also his reaction.
Mhm.
Like
No,
every
I do
interview,
agree.
like
I do
every
agree.
interview he's given, has he been humble?
No.
No, exactly. So I'm just saying, like, to me, it's no, like, I look at his response and I'm like,
Nobody
yeah,
respects
that's
Nash,
about
though,
right
man.
for Cam.
That's how everybody looks when they do ask him about Steve Nash. They roll their eyes because they're like, and it's like,
I know, but I think
for
you
the
guys
people
are
that
trying to make more of a narrative that's not there.
No,
Do we all
I'm not-
agree? Do we all agree Steve Nash is not a good coach? Yes. But I think the narrative that they're trying to say that the players are sick of Steve Nash and don't like Nash is
yeah,
not
I don't think
fair.
it's like that's the.
That,
Do they think
there's
he's
two
the
different
right
things
coach?
here.
But
Yeah.
even if KD was like, okay, even if
Anthony,
KD
nobody's giving Nash a pass. Did you just hear me say we all agree? Let me say it slower for you. We all agree Steve Nash is a bad coach, but we're not trying to do narratives. Is that clear
Bro,
enough for
how
you?
does that even sound like Nash praise? I don't understand.
Exactly.
I was gonna say, like, even if KD, let's say KD, like you said, saying he defended Nash in the interviews,
Oh, he's done.
but what if
times.
he doesn't want Nash to be the coach, and even if he does go to Sean Marks and says, "Yo, I want a different coach," Sean Marks is not gonna do anything about it. Like, he's not gonna fire Nash.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Even if
but
KD and
that's
Kyrie
where-
both went up to Sean and was like, "Yo, we don't want Nash to be the coach."
Ultimately,
He's not
if
gonna
Sean
fire a
Marks
coach.
listened to KD, there would be no trade request.
That's what I'm. That's what I'm trying to say. He's not gonna.
But
listen
but
to
and
it and
then
be like-
but honestly, like
Yeah.
that's the other thing too, though. Like why I think the level of importance of the assistant coaches come into play, right? Like if we want to do that, like think about how much easier it is to handle somebody like Steve Nash as a coach when you have good, legit assistant coaches around you.
Yeah.
Which is why I think if you want to even make the case where, like, I truly believe that, like, letting going some of the assistant coaches that they liked bothered them is because they're very important.
Yeah. Nash is more assistant coach, bench coach. Kyrie wanted Phil Handy. Yeah. Everybody, out of all of us,
We
I
all
wanted
did.
Sam Cassell and Phil Handy.
We all wanted Phil Handy.
I wanted Phil Handy and Sam Cassell, but that didn't happen.
Yeah, matter of fact, you and I got in an argument with. Oh, talk about Phil Handy. I don't know if you guys know this, especially you, Anthony. So AJ posted a thing about Phil Handy about like saying, "Hey, come to the Nets. We'd love to have you." And somebody jumped in. We'll not get into names, or we'll not do that. But this guy jumped in the chat and was like, just killing Phil Handy. Oh, he's this.
Basically
He's
said
that.
he's a comb placer. He's not ready to be
The only
head
thing in
coach.
common he has is like he bringing up the color of his skin, like all kinds of shit, right? And me and AJ are like, what? Like we're showing.
This is all
facts.
on Twitter, by the way, y'all.
Yeah, this is all on
Twitter.
Twitter, and we're showing facts, and then the tweet stops, right? We stop arguing, we forget about it, and then all of a sudden Phil Handy actually comes in the tweet
It was like
And,
3. It was like 3
just-
weeks later too. It was like crazy.
right.
Yo, Phil
3
Handy
weeks
literally
later, just
tweeted-
all
Was
of
he
a
was he
sudden-
scrolling through his mentions or what?
He
Like,
That's what I'm trying to
must
figure
have,
out. Like, why was this 3 weeks later?
how
Like,
how
literally-
bored was Phil Handy when he saw that?
Well, I mean, listen, Phil Handy's well known, but I don't think he's like one of those massive Twitter
Twitter
I don't
guys?
think he's got a ton of Twitter traffic.
Hmm.
But like, so I think it was easy for him to see. And I mean, shit, we argued in that tweet for quite a while, and his name kept
Yeah.
popping up. So he came in and basically just said, like, you don't know me. Pretty much keep my name out your mouth. And then
Yeah,
it
he's
was
like, you
like,
don't know how I coach. Keep my name out your mouth. He's saying this to the guy that was dissing
Yeah.
him, and then me and
But
saying
to
we're
be
kind of
fair, this guy that is going at Phil Handy is a stripper for Steve Nash. So I'm not even surprised.
yeah. But let's not
Bro, strip dances for Steve Nash. So let's not even.
we're not.
Yeah.
The whole point of the story is not
Yo.
to get into that.
I mean, true.
I'm not wanting to.
Like I get you, but at the same time, when bro got called out for it, he blocked everybody and went into hiding. So
I
kind
know,
of.
but that's not what I. Yeah.
I wish we could go back to that one space.
But anyways, it was funny though. Yeah, we wanted Phil Handy. We wanted Sam Cassell. We had who was the other guy you were talking about? There was like we had a couple people that we really wanted on this team that players would have responded to.
I wanted
think
Sam
would
to
have
be the head
worked.
coach, honestly.
Yeah.
And I want Phil Handy to be assistant coach.
But you knew that the head coach thing was not happening, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
But let me dream though, bro. Let me dream.
let me dream.
At least have him on the staff. Not even.
It's crazy. We went from worrying about like coaching staff and all of that, and now we have to worry about KD. It's tragic. Now we can't even focus on the coaches. Now we have to worry about this KD thing.
Shout out to Undercover. He said James Harden didn't rock with Nash. Kyrie been sneak dissing Nash for months. Warren Entertainment, more than an athlete. Kick. Would y'all be comfortable with Thiago Splitter as a head coach? Yo, who's yo, is this trolling? Are we getting trolled right now? Because this is
You know Thiago Splitter is actually on our team, right?
yeah, but it's just like, why did he say out of everybody, Thiago Splitter as a head coach?
What made you come up with Thiago Splitter? Did you just look at the Nets coaching
Yeah,
staff and
like,
you just
I
like
was like-
Thiago Splitter?
Well, he's been there for a little bit.
He has
actually.
been there for a minute.
He's
Yeah,
been
I
there
guess
for
so.
he's been there for a little bit, but still, why would
That was
Thiago
mad
Splitter just be
random though.
How
See,
do
but
they
what,
any coach and you're just Thiago Splitter? Like
Thiago
what?
Splitter.
what's kind of sad though is I actually like the Adam Capricorn, Caporn, whatever the hell his
Capone?
name is.
Capone.
Capone.
No, it's
Yeah, Adam Capone.
whatever.
Like, I actually was kind of like thought what he did with our G League team last year. I actually was, I think we were happy. We actually talked about it a couple, like, hey, I like what the coach is doing down in the G League. But, and like most of these players that were there last season, but it doesn't look like he did shit with them. It was completely different.
I don't even think they made the playoffs or anything.
No, but they did really well. They did develop some like enough for these guys in their first year to come up and actually be.
Do you think he got like overshadowed by our good young players? Because like Cam would go down there and go crazy. Then Dayron went down there and had like 40 and 20. Kessler was going good. Like, do you think he got overshadowed by our good players?
Well, and yeah, by that time these guys have been playing
NBA
significant
ball.
amount of games, and here we are looking at the summer league, and it's like you keep kind of forgetting that these guys are just coming off not really, yeah, they may have been working out, but they really haven't been running. But that, I don't know. I just expected more from that assistant coach.
Somebody said Capone Noriega.
Hilarious.
Ask y'all questions, man. I'm gonna read this poll. Make sure you guys hit the like button. So I put the poll, do you want Boogie on the Nets? And 74% said yes, and 26% said no. So shout out to Boogie.
I think
You
we're
watching
running
Boogie?
out of options, though.
Yeah, for real, yo.
He's not even a bad option either. Like he's
No, but I'm just saying,
Boogie.
like that. Like what? We've got Boogie. We've got
Boogie. We've got
Yeah,
Hassan
but-
Whiteside
He
out
thought about
there.
anybody else. He's like,
Hassan Whiteside has like shot 0 threes in his career.
I
so
know,
I
but
even-
I'm
Is he
just
out there?
saying, like,
he is out there, but like
yeah.
he is the laziest center I have ever seen.
No,
Ever
you
seen.
used to
He
say that
walks.
about.
he's not a free agent though. He's not a free agent. Right?
Walks.
I thought Whiteside hasn't signed yet, from what I understand.
What were you
He's
what were you
free
saying? Saint? What were you saying? Saint?
Is Hassan
I
Whiteside a
thought
free
you
agent?
used to say that what's his name was the laziest center.
Drummond?
Drummond.
Which is it, Hassan or Drummond, bro?
Oh, it's Hassan. It's
No,
Hassan.
he said Hassan is.
It's
Hassan is
Hassan.
more lazy than
Yeah.
Drummond, and that's
No,
Hassan.
Drummond will get tired, and then he'll start running around in 360s, just throwing up the ball and shit.
Yeah, his
But on
IQ is
defense, he's lazy.
playing volleyball.
Just what are
Boogie.
you doing? What process through your brain to
Who
just be
keeps
like, let me tip the ball?
fucking saying boogie?
Yo,
Is that you or
yo,
Joe?
don't do that, bro.
He's
Don't do
absolutely
that.
having a
Is that you,
just
Chubbs?
boogie.
Yo, nah, Boogie's that guy, man. Boogie.
Yeah,
Ask y'all questions, man. We about to get at it. Put at Saint in the chat if you have any questions before we get out of here, man. What's our next game?
Look at Brandon on Twitter already backtracking. If Katie and Kai do come back, I don't want it to be a run it back type of.
Yo, I hate Brandon because he's
Oh my God, Brandon!
Mr. Tyler
I
Hero. Get out of
swear.
here, Mr. Tyler
Didn't he
Hero.
just say, "What's the point of running KD and Kyrie back for what?" No, oh my God.
Yeah.
But this is off topic. I did see people ask questions. So the glasses, which are right here, these are from Amazon. They're like $30. You can get them. They're pretty
Hey,
affordable.
at the
And
top
you know what's cool? For $30, you can do all types of shit. You can do this. You can do
I'm gonna
this.
fuck with Brandon.
You know what I'm saying? If you feel lovely, you know you got that.
Ooh.
That's really
my
cool.
gosh.
Dude, I think we all need to get a pair of these, bro. How much
Bro,
were these things, dude?
He said it's
$30.
30.
They're like $30 on Amazon. Like you got all types of modes and shit. You got all types of, you know what I'm saying? Fucking Flappy Bird. Look at that.
Oh,
Was
Yeah,
it-
I don't. I mean,
Was it
shout
worth
out
it?
to-
Was it worth it?
Oh yes. Oh yeah.
Shout out to Lux Bucky Lee. Listen, you're right. I mean, because I've been trying to be hopeful that they can work shit out because that's ultimately what I want. Is I want Katie and Kyrie to be here. Will I accept the fact if it happens? Of course, but you know, there's been people out there that have been talking about things like you just heard from Brian Lewis, right? Scoop has said something similar. What Brian Lewis said, Sham said something similar, and I think there is something that I think the biggest problem out of all of this is that, you know, even Kyrie did tweet out, hey, there is a lot of misinformation going on. And he's 100% correct by that, right? Like getting into like what's true and what's not is, you know, that's the who knows thing. But this whole process has been blown way out of proportion. People have been running, like you've had literally one side of the Western Conference make up stories to fit their narratives and who they go to. And then you've had the East Coast side of that. You've had GMs talking. You've had multiple sources that people are close to either camp putting out different messages. It's like, and then you've seen literally one reporter come out. Like Brian Lewis was a perfect one, right? Like he said something about a trade to Lakers, this and that, and made it sound like, oh, it's happening. And then not even like a few minutes later, kind of leaves a tweet that backs off it. So like you haven't even had full information from anybody, and to sit there and even try to like weed through it and find out 100% what's right and wrong.
It's not even worth it.
And then it's like it's gotten to the point where people just pick and choose.
Honestly, there's 100,000. There's like 100 reporters just putting out. They just want clicks because Katie and Kyrie are the biggest news in the NBA right now. So they'll say anything just to get clicks and views and clicks.
And
ultimately,
ultimately, that's the ultimate goal of you know being a writer, right? Like you're gonna tell true stories or whatever, but anything that will get you clicks is good. Any publicity is good publicity. Honestly, that's what that is. So.
Shane, that was DJ's question, right? That you answered.
Who, me?
Yeah.
What did I answer, DJ?
You answered DJ's question? He said
no. Somebody else had said something, and then they took down the quote. So I was just
okay.
I was just
DJ kind of asked us
responding.
the question that you were responding because he said, "Do you think KD wants to leave Kyrie?" Even though we saw the report just that came out,
that is yet to be seen. I think you're going to find out more. I honestly think what's going to happen. I think you're going to start hearing more language, right? Like I think.
Me personally, I don't think KD wants to leave Kyrie, but I just think there was a disconnect. He was definitely upset when they didn't give him the max. I think that like he didn't say nothing about it because that's not KD's personality, but I think he was upset like because I have this feeling they promised him Kyrie was going to get extended, and that's why
That's ultimately who he came to the team with. So.
Yeah, that's part of the reason why he locked in because he was like, okay, I'm about to lock in. Kyrie about to lock in. Let's get it started. And that didn't happen. So, Shout out to Brendan. He said, "Do you think that Adam just had a bad game? No coaches on their A game every single time, especially with this terrible summer league team." Like I said, I was in DR, so I didn't see every game. This is actually my first game that I actually watched. And it was terrible coaching by Adam. So I don't know. Did you guys watch the other games? Because this was terrible. This was not the game I wanted to come back to. Like this was terrible.
It's not a matter
This
of
game was
bad
tired.
coaching. It wasn't bad coaching, but it was just like we finally ran into an opponent that completely counters everything that they've done so far. So it's pretty much kind of like that. It's not a matter of the coaching was bad. I don't think it was terrible, but just from outside looking in, more likely it was just kind of like we finally found an opponent that knew how to counter everything.
Yeah, exactly. He in this game, to me, he didn't make no adjustments. He didn't do. It kind of just looked like it looked Steve Nash-ish. It looked Steve Nash, and like Jay was saying before, what did he do to deserve an assistant coaching job? You know, it's like instead of us going out there in the market interviewing qualified coaches or coaches that have been in the league for years and years and years and years, we just upgrade him. So it's just, I don't know. That's just, what other questions we have? Do you think we'll grab anybody?
That's crazy. I just can't believe out of all of this, this whole thing, Kyrie has never requested a trade. He's never requested a trade.
Yeah,
never. He's never.
He opted in. So it's like he opted in and he said, "I'll see you in the fall." Shout out Duke. He said, "Do you think we'll grab anybody else?" Oof, I don't think. There's not really. I think is Markieff Morris still out there? Double check for me, Rage, if he's still out there.
Markieff Morris, my God, didn't he sit out like the whole year because
the whiplash, the Jokic push.
Yeah.
AJ, all I'm gonna say
He's
is
a free
just
agent.
hang on right now. Don't shut it down.
Don't shut it. All right.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Markieff is still available. He played 17 games last year. My God, he did sit out that whole year.
He's still a free agent?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think he could be an option, or like I said, Boogie. So
you really like DeMarcus Cousins, don't you?
Boogie. I just like saying Boogie sometimes. Not gonna lie. That's what's
Boogie. I see. I don't even think like if he comes on the team, there's just no way.
I'll be hype, yo.
There's no way I'm saying DeMarcus Cousins. Like it's just Boogie.
I'm gonna go to Clay and be like Boogie when he goes.
Getting a Boogie jersey
when he makes his first three.
Are you gonna get a jersey that says
get a Boogie jersey?
Oh damn!
Yo, you gotta be a real nasty guy.
If you got a Boogie jersey, bro, that would be
nasty, right?
So remember when I went to New York and or whatever, and I said, I'm gonna get a jersey, right?
Yeah.
Y'all wanted me to get a fucking Drummond jersey. I'm glad I didn't do that.
Yo, we gotta make a bet. If Boogie comes to the team, you gotta get a Boogie jersey.
Oh shit! The one
Scoop!
on camera, you don't have to be Scoop, but
man, I done put clothes on. Screw it.
Like if you just want to sit in the buff and like turn your camera off, bro, you good.
We got the Scoop. Scoop be in his house, man. Scoop.
Listen, I feel like Stephen A. when the Cowboys lose and he puts their cowboy hat on.
I told you so. Don't say I didn't tell you so.
Yeah. You know,
he's got the cigar on the side of his mouth. Don't say I didn't tell you so.
Yeah,
he does a little southern accent. He does a little southern accent.
You need a little bit of a victory lap here because
the Cowboys are trash. Horrible.
Hilarious.
Like literally, Scoop has come out like and spoke these like almost exact words, like he wants to be in Brooklyn, but if he was forced to go, he would want to go out west, right? Like, but all of you've been saying is that he wants to be in Brooklyn.
Chestnut checkers.
And people have
the whole time.
Remember, I told you.
Remember. Hey.
Put that up on the screen,
checkers,
saying
make sure you put the
checkers.
in. Remember, I told you.
Oh yeah, chestnut checkers.
Chestnut checkers. Write that down.
Chestnut checkers.
Yo,
write it.
House,
remember that Scoop B told you. He told you.
Yo, Scoop. We want to ask you about. So Brian Lewis just basically kind of reiterated what you were talking about with the Kyrie.
And I just want to put this out there. I have respect for Brian. Brian is actually behind the scenes and even publicly one of my biggest advocates. So I have no problem with Brian. Brian's all right with me.
Yeah. So what was your take like about him talking about? Well, I think people are shocked that Kyrie. wants to not shocked that he wants to stay, but the point that Brian Lewis made was with or without KD was like everybody's like, whoa, with or without KD. It's like
that part I can't speak on.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
But everything else that he said was pretty spot on. So
yeah.
I can't speak on the Kev part. I think you guys know where I'm tied.
Yeah.
From time to time, I can speak on Kev just because of just nets and just association. But on this one, I'm not trying to mess up anybody's money.
Yeah.
But I do know that he does have a desire that I can speak to.
Yeah, I feel like when he put the with or without KD, that was a little for spice, for the clicks, a little click spice. Sometimes you got to put a little click spice. But for me, the tea leaves that I'm getting is like that Kyrie. I think Kyrie wants to stay and he wants KD to stay. They just have a disagreement with the front office right now. That's what that's what I feel. I'm not saying I know or anything.
And still, at the end of the day, the Nets can ultimately force KD to stay. At the end of the day,
they could.
Word to 48.
They don't gotta trade him. They don't gotta trade him, man.
Yes.
They put in hashtag chestnut checkers in the chat. Shout out.
And ultimately, KD's not gonna sit out either. He's gonna have Kyrie on the. He's gonna have Kyrie on the court. He's not gonna sit out.
Yeah,
I don't think he's gonna sit out.
Objectively, this is what I will say. I was watching Back to the Future, so I'm gonna give y'all a few minutes. I'm going back to my movie, but this is what I'll say. I will say that when it comes to probably the last few years of just in my life covering the NBA, I've seen strange things. I've seen Anthony Davis and how he and Rich finagled, their situation and ultimately finding their way to Los Angeles. I've seen both sides of I've seen both sides of James Harden in Houston and then in Brooklyn. I think players have gotten creative. And one thing that I will say is I think with this next CBA, I think that the players and the governors of teams and the Players Association are going to have hell on both sides.
We were just talking about that, Scoop, because Brian Lewis also said, I think he asked Adam Silver about the trade request, and then I'll read the quote. Adam Silver said there's always conversations behind closed doors between the players and representatives of the teams, but we don't like to see players requesting trades, and we don't like to see it playing out the way it is. And that gave me the feeling that there's gonna be a lockout coming, y'all. There might be a lockout coming.
I've gone on record and said that and just folks that I've talked to on the player side, on the owner side, and just all of it. Like, I just think it's interesting because we are in they've been saying we're in another recession. I feel like we've never gotten out of 2008, but I feel like just with inflation and everything going on, the one thing that has been kind of consistent for the consumer has been sports, has been basketball. And what you saw with the bubble, prior to the bubble and them going to Disney, was that withdrawal. And I think really, as much as both sides are arguing, I still understand the fan side of it, as far as just the lack of being, I guess, entertained or following along with your favorite player. And I feel for them because if that happens, it's going to affect not just the fan, it's going to affect players' pocket. Like I've had conversations with players and where they've had to loan people their peers money because there's a lockout. Like it has a residual effect on everybody, and a lot of it has to do with not living within your means. It's a lot of I know in journalism school they talked about not editorializing and talking about words like pulling by bootstraps and teachable moments. But I hope that the prior two lockouts were cautionary tales for how guys are spending and investing their money.
Yeah. No, that's why. Like I said, I don't want to keep Scoop for all night, but appreciate you, man.
Of course, I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all rocking with me.
Yeah,
and y'all see all the stuff people say, but At the end of the day, if you know what you know, and it's still not over, I'm not taking the victory lap just yet. But if I got an opportunity to talk some sugar honey iced tea, I'm gonna do it. But there's still some work that needs to be done, and it's not done. Kyrie Irving ultimately, from my understanding, wants an extension, and I think I'll share this with you. Like when I tweeted and I said it on radio yesterday, me speaking with somebody within the Nets organization. It was funny. They said to me, they go, Scoop, that all that Lakers and Sun stuff, that's last week's news. What you're going to see next week, this was a conversation I had Sunday. It was like 8:00 because the Simpsons were on when I was watching it. They were like, what you see, what you saw last week, that was last week's news. Next week, all them MFs are going to be talking about is they not going to the Lakers. They not going to. And if you notice on Monday, it was quiet. You saw how quiet it was on Monday?
It was quiet. Yeah, it was quiet.
And right now, like I'm still I literally got Lakers fans still DMing me that they're still convinced. They are still convinced that fuck what Brian Lewis says, fuck what Scoop says. They're still sitting there before
Scoop goes. I was gonna say we was up here. Jay was just up here, defending your honor so much because it's like people come at you and Christian Winfield, right? But then when Woj gets a report wrong and he lies, he looks in the camera and he lies, or Shams says something and he's wrong. They don't come at those guys. But when you guys say it, it's like they come at you immediately. You know what I'm saying, or something like that. Like they don't. Can I
ask y'all an honest question?
Yeah. From
your perspective, why do you think people come at me so hard?
Well, first I'm gonna say, because you're a prominent Black reporter, I'm gonna say that first, and then the second, I just think that
we need a ding button. We need
the ding. Yeah. Okay. The second one I'm gonna say is that
the soundboard, this shit will be crazy.
The way the NBA world is shaped, they just think that if it's not Shams or Woj, nobody else has sources, nobody else is plugged in. If you're not on the main ESPN screen on TV, or you see me every day, they just think that you don't have no credibility.
If you're not on ESPN, you have no sources. You have no sources. What are
you got no credibility.
About? You talk to other people now. No, you don't.
Yeah.
And let me ask you this, Scoop. You've been, since the day you started your hustle back in the day of being who you are today, have people been telling you can't do it since back then?
It's funny. I'll tell y'all a story. So the answer to that question is yes, not in digital form. So when
and when you're done, I'll give you my part of why I asked that. But go for it.
When I finished grad school in 2011, there was a point. I've shared some of my story with you. I lived in the basement apartment in my grandmother's house, and so we were separated by floors. I had my own exit and entrance. Did everything I needed to do, and I remember. So my grandmother had a foster child and adopted child, and I remember right after grad school, I had knee surgery. I had reconstructive knee surgery. I tore my ACL, and I remember my grandmother had a home attendant that took care of one of her foster children, and I told her what I planned to do after. I got well and did what I needed to do. And she was like, "You sure you want to do this? That's steep. You sure you want to do that?" And I looked at her and I said, "Yeah." It was like nothing. It was I envisioned it and I saw it before it actually happened. And that was like what? I'm not the best math student. That was 11 years ago. I'm sitting talking to you guys now. I never doubted it. And I'll tell you, years later, she reached out to me and she said to me, "I'm happy that you still stuck with it. And maybe that wasn't the best approach to say that to you. Many people don't follow through on their dreams. Many people, they say that that's what they're going to do and they don't do it. But it seemed like second nature. Why would I not?"
Yeah. Because listen, dude, people are I always look at it too this way, that people's response to you when you're doing your thing, right? It's funny because somebody will come at you and then you're covering the NBA finals, right? Somebody will come at you and you're on a
He'd be
radio
like,
show.
Scoop got no sources.
Yeah,
He's like literally
yeah.
talking to 1,000 NBA players every. Like, come on.
Yeah,
man,
and it's like what I see. What I see is somebody, and the conversations that you have and I have had, like off air, so to speak, right?
Sure.
And where it's like, you know, like I know you're dedicated to what you're doing, right?
Sure.
And I've learned just in the short amount of time that we've talked, like I've learned so much just from how things work. But to me, at the end of the day, it comes down to envious and jealousy. Like you look at somebody doing something, because there's a lot of people like on Twitter or in these type of things where it's like they look at you and go, oh, well, I could do that. But instead of ever putting, yeah, exactly. But instead of like ever putting in any work, their only option is to tell you why you're this way, why, like, and come at you. And I think the other thing that makes people continue to come at you is because you don't respond like an asshole. You respond exactly how your heart is. Like you are nice, respectable. You joke with them. I've never seen you like turn around and be vindictive or nasty. And that people can't stand that. That whole, I know it's a dumb, cheesy thing that it kill them with kindness, but there's so much truth and power into that it becomes a thing. And then you look at Twitter's like, you saw it, right? Like people were egging you on just so they could get on the Scoop B blocked me and then turn around. And what they do, because I see the tweets, because
like,
I may be friend. I mean,
like,
well, no, I'll be friend with a Laker fan. That's actually a cool person. They're not crazy. They're not coming at you, but they happen to know somebody that you blocked. And then so I'll see it like in the whole algorithm. So I'll see like a like or something. And then what I'll see your conversation. I'll see the block, and then I'll see them post, and then I'll read what you say and read what they're. And they make up something completely different. Like, oh, look how sensitive he is. Like I own Scoop. And it's like next time that happens, I'm actually going to take a photo of the conversation and then post it in there and be like, what were you saying? And it just, people are like that, bro. Like they can't, I don't understand why people can't just have a disagreement conversation opposed to having to insult you in some way. And it just, at the end of the day, it's like, these are people that quite honestly, there's something lacking in their life.
But I'll add this. DJ said in the comments on YouTube, he said people come at Scoop because he trolls back on Twitter. And you know what?
Yeah, but in a fun way.
Yeah. And I have a smart ass mouth.
Smart ass is different than being malicious though, bro. Like
yeah,
that's a big difference.
I'm not malicious. I like to laugh, I like to joke, I like to play. But I don't my mom used to say this to me. It's one thing to you can laugh and you can joke, you can play, but it's another thing to take somebody's dignity. And I feel like a lot of times people will do that to me on Twitter, and I don't even know these people. like it's not like I'm trying to prove myself, but it's like, yo, I'm really not a bad guy, and there's not a malicious bone in my body, but I feel like it's a popularity contest, and it's like, and so I think it's part of it. I also do agree with DJ when he said about the 48, but I'm gonna tell you something about the 48. If you guys go back to what I said, because I was away, I was on vacation in Mexico, and the conversation started. I think my tweet was like, "Yo, the Nets need to bring in Eli Carter. They need to bring him back, Adam Harrington, and Carmelo Anthony, and y'all have 48 hours to respond." And to be honest with you, the 48 hours to respond, just to clarify, was Saint, you can probably attest to this. It was when I went on.
Yeah, because you pissed me off.
The 48. Nah, that 40 was bad 40 because I chose with Scoop too.
But I'll explain. No. The reason why, like, is like I didn't fully understand what he was doing, and I took it like legit, and I was like. And I understand. Scoop, go on. But yeah,
Scoop always has a catchphrase that like people don't.
Oh, so wait, that 48, that 48 was one big troll.
Well,
no, it wasn't.
Yes and no. Yes and no.
Yes.
Allow me to explain. So when I tweeted out that information about Eli Carter, when I tweeted out the information about Adam Harrington, that was factual. That wasn't me making it up. Now this is what I'll tell you. The 48 started when I went on Saints Spaces. And I was like, it was almost like a hostage demand.
Yeah.
We want Eli Carter. We want Adam Harrington. If you don't meet you have 48 hours. And if you don't meet my demands, blah, 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 blah.
And then he just hung up.
And hung up the phone, right? That was the effect. But the information was still there. That was that's what they were upset about. So if I let anybody on, I want to clarify that it was said to get people's attention, but it was never meant to be malicious or I was playing. And what happened was once I saw the effect of 48, I'm like, well, I know that some people who are my competitors are going to put out information and they have a bigger following than me and people are going to pay attention. How do you continue to push out what you're saying and the information? You play with numbers as it relates to the emojis.
Yeah.
So and that's the thing. People bit on the 48 more than the actual context of what he was saying.
Yeah. People
and
thought
then
like
you heard
was
Shams
like something was going to get traded or something,
yeah,
but you never said that.
Mainly Laker fans really bit
Right.
on it, but
Right.
but the other aspect of it was, and see, I bit on the 48, and then when he told me the 48 wasn't shit, I was like, motherfucker.
And look, he accidentally texted somebody, yo, I'm mad at Scoop because I'm like, hi, I'm Scoop.
No, but what I did is see, Jay and I were talking, and I told Jay, I'm like, Jay, this 48's not real, and I'm pissed. But I'm glad I sent it to you because it made the point of it just was perfect. Like I was pissed.
No, I knew the 48 was like that big of a deal, but the way like people were like so mad at it, it just had me dying.
Well, but that's the thing though. Then what did Shams though do, Scoop? Shams like Shams came out and said something similar to you, not a peep. Then today, Brian Lewis is saying something, not a peep. Yeah. But and it's ridiculous, bro. Like,
but Saint, here's the kicker: they'll believe some random radio host in Arizona because he got one guess right.
They'll believe the beat writer in
they'll believe some random guy called TDE coming out with a deal's done
in Wyoming. They'll beat writer in Wyoming, and they'll believe that over.
Bro, like it's somewhere out there in Montana somewhere. Like the deal's done already. It's just the details working.
If you go back to all my reporting from 4th of July weekend on vacation, enjoying frozen strawberry mojitos, I always said that Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant should run it back. But I also said this. I also said that there is a chance that they could work it out and that the Lakers talk was manufactured. I always said that.
You did.
If you go back to tweets, if you go back to interviews, guest spots, I always said that.
Can you address this? Because some people, it started an argument too where we all debated whether somebody wanted Melo or not. Let me
talk about that, because why do people like with the Melo thing, right? Mm-hmm. Y'all do know Katie and Kyrie love Melo. Like they're friends with Melo. They're cool with Melo. They look up to Melo. Like why y'all think that's such a like random ass out of this world take? Kyrie literally had a Carmelo shirt. He had a picture of Carmelo's face on a shirt when he was playing ball like 2 weeks ago. So I'm trying to figure out why people think it's out of this world that they would want Melo. Like it doesn't make sense.
Was that part of the language, or was that just something you kind of threw in?
Well, this is what I'll say about Carmelo. Carmelo is somebody that they always wanted on that team. From my understanding of that situation, the Nets just weren't keen on bringing him in. That's the messaging that I got, and it's interesting because
last season or this season.
So when you say last, you mean
I think he was talking about years before. They wanted Melo like
within the last.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, because I thought their like talk of Melo actually was last season as well. But are you saying that was last season when they didn't want to bring him in, or that that's
Katie
now
and Kyrie
as well?
wanted Melo from the beginning. Like I think since the Blazers days, they wanted Melo
from the beginning. But I felt that if I'm not mistaken, and correct me if I'm wrong, the first year that Kai and Kevin were there when Kev sat out, Melo was still a free agent. He ended up going to Portland at some point, right?
Yeah. They wanted. Okay. Yeah, he was a free agent there.
That was a point where I've always felt that Melo, the perception in the NBA was we're not touching him. So to me, that was never going to happen in that year, even though there was a desire for him to come in. When he came to Portland and he kind of showed what he had and all that other stuff. Kind of just like I remember sitting in a GM's office and of a specific team, and they said to me, "Yo, we had what's the word I'm looking for? They had insular discussions about bringing them in, and then when they saw how well they were doing, they were like, damn, that's probably one of the biggest regrets that I have during my tenure in this specific organization." And then once the popularity contest grew, then it turned into Melo in LA, because at that time, the Lakers had won that championship in the bubble, and there was a belief that, they could go back and win it again. So I think the Lakers winning it and then Melo thinking he could get a ring there kind of canceled it out. That's the way I put it all together. Yeah. But now is a situation kind of like 2019 where it's like, well, what's next?
Yeah. And with Melo,
I'm not opposed to Melo being on this team.
Another shooter? Why not?
And it's like people, we all know Melo is not the Melo of Nuggets Melo 20. He's not going to give us no 28. The past 2 seasons with Lakers and Portland, he shot very, very well from 3. Like he's been shooting like
a lot of Lakers games I watched. He was hitting those key threes.
I think he's been shooting like high 30s, almost 40% from 3. He's giving you like 12 to 15 points off the bench. You can't be his defense. We all know his defense is not good.
Another guy you can get a vet minimum contract to.
Yeah, but
and also that's another shooter you get, and that's also another guy. If you get, you're like, you know what, you can move Joe Harris. You can live without him.
His defense. We know his defense is not good, but you guys got to think about this. We don't have choices right now with free agents and the way our luxury tax is. We don't have choices, so it's like. You tell me who you guys want. Will you want Melo or you want another James Johnson?
We've upgraded on the defensive end too. Like we've been upgrading. And when Ben Simmons comes back,
people always use that as an excuse. Like I remember when Jamal Crawford was still a talk with teams, and a front office person told me, we don't want Melo we don't want Jamal because he don't play defense. And my response is, well, who does really? Like in the NBA. I feel like that's always an excuse when you don't want somebody. I think
really it's not like the Nets are expecting people on their team to play defense, so it fits right in.
I don't buy that. I think that's snobby analytics talk.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah. And Melo,
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Sam.
No, because I had a couple. Somebody was asking what you thought about like any coaching staff and if it will change, like if there's any more coming in. And then I had another
relates to the Nets.
Yeah. And then there's I have another question after that for you.
Haven't heard anything. No.
All right. And then one of our guys, shout out to B, he's always in spaces with us. He's in here. He sent me this clip earlier of, let's find it. Some dude.
Oh yeah, I think
his name the Rich Eisen show, and he was saying that Katie, and I checked, Katie did like it. He said, but in the video that's on Twitter, it says they talk about like the new media versus old media, and the battle that's being raging lately. But then they also go into, he says, talking about him going to Phoenix and talking down on Ben, saying maybe Katie doesn't want to play with him and saying he's not a hooper. I just don't see that aspect of it. Like I could understand him actually liking and probably listening to the new media versus old media battle and liking it because of that. But I have a hard time believing KD is like talking down on Ben like that. And saying he's not a hooper.
Just because he likes the post doesn't mean like he likes everything that was said in the post, though.
I think whenever people put like when people like, I'm a journalist, but I was a fan first.
Yeah.
But I'm a documenter, so I see it from both lenses. But I've always felt like when people
put emphasis on likes.
When somebody likes something on Twitter, or when they see somebody like something, I think that's corny as hell.
And they look to read into it, is what you're saying?
Yeah, because look, I'm a basketball journalist, but sometimes if I see a girl with a big butt, I like the picture.
Me too.
But it is. Yeah, I mean, it is.
Marry her? No. Yeah. Just like sometimes people like stuff without even really looking at it. Like
Yeah,
I
that's
like.
true. Sometimes
Like,
I like
I
stuff
don't-
and I don't even know what it's really about.
Who it's just a who cares type thing. You just kind of like because whatever. It don't really matter.
Yeah, I just think that's a nothing burger. I don't.
Well, and that's the other thing. How much are we actually like? And this is the other thing. Like, understand, like we do it as content creators and talking about players, and so like we're guilty of it our own. But I think that's like part like we're giving our opinions of what we think about the situation and what they might be thinking, right? Like, and as things change, we like I've met you, like we start learning some things where we understand, like where I've had to learn to step back and look at something like that and be like you're basically asking me to decide and put myself like to think that what actually KD is thinking just by liking that tweet. That automatically
like reading his mind, stepping into his mind.
Yeah.
And I listen. The other thing is this: just like I think that whole thing with the liking stuff is cheesy. Stop quoting people's brothers and cousins and aunts. Shut up. like, look. If you listen, Tony Durant is cool. I don't have a problem with Tone. Tone is cool. I spent some time with him in New Orleans some years ago. Cool ass dude.
He doesn't speak for KD.
He doesn't speak for KD, but this is what I'll also say. The way that Twitter accuses me of clout chasing, maybe he wants some clicks too.
Talk about it, man.
Maybe. I haven't asked Tony that. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we're going to keep it funky and say, all right, we're not going to charge it to the game with them guys liking photos, leave their family members out of it too.
Nah, he's been
unless that's their agent or their manager.
He's been wrong on so many times because he came out. I think he came out a while ago and said like, "Oh, Serge Ibaka's coming to the Nets. It's a go. It's a wrap."
Hey,
and then it did not happen.
That was real. If you go back to my tweet, I said Serge Ibaka and the Nets have mutual interest.
Yeah.
I got to be careful with that now because people watch and they wait for me to F up. Just like
I was gonna say, Tony Durant said that he said like, "Oh, he's coming. It's a wrap. It's a done deal." Like
it did seem like it. Like when that was all indications were pointing to that, and it's just like boom.
All I'm saying is like people just think because he's KD's brother, like it's him saying it. It's like it's KD's like saying it. It's not just because he's KD's brother. He does not speak for KD. Like,
and to add to it too, that like what B said, he sent me another message. Like he just wanted to know our thoughts. He's like, because you think about how Twitter made such a big deal about Joe Tsai, the owner, liking that one girl's tweet, and all that, how that blew up and what that meant. Right? People were reading into Joe Tsai liking this person.
You gotta be careful, but see here.
Yeah, I'm not getting into like I'm not even gonna mention names, but it's like, but I remember saying about this where it's like Joe Tsai may be liking something, but here we are then once again, like just because he likes something that was said, and whether we agree with it or disagree with it, we're automatically going to what's that?
I think that's a little different.
Yeah. Well, and that's why. He was thinking, are people going to take this, what they said, and be like, yo, that means he wants out?
I think it's different because Joe Tsai liked, it was actually like a quote, not a quote, but like a word said. And then what KD liked, it was a video. First of all, the video.
But there's words said in there too, and they're literally talking about.
They tagged KD. They tagged KD in it. And then it's like a whole 8-minute clip of what they're talking about. So like that whole 8 minutes, like, I'm not sure, like. You know
people go to Instagram to look. They go to Twitter to read.
Yeah. But my question is like, and this is what I thought like is different from like, if you clearly are looking at like, because clearly KD watched that video, right? Like he liked the video. So like, and this is where it's like, it's hard to like, when you hear then them talk about in that video about not wanting to play with Ben Simmons and going to Phoenix. It's not a hard stretch for some people to go, oh shit, look what he liked. So is there truth to that?
And I'll tell you what. You remember that tweet that I put out back in the spring about Ben Simmons walking around like Jordan?
Yeah.
It got stretched, but
yeah.
But here's the thing. The person who told me was on the net side of things, and they didn't name names, but if you're Ben Simmons and you're being challenged in practice, it would be easy for a consumer to assume that it was the stars of the team saying, "Yo, get it together."
Yeah.
Right.
But I didn't even take that when you said that as a like. I thought they were kind of joking, like showing his confidence. Like I took that.
That's
as
what
a
I was.
joke.
That was what I was saying.
Yeah.
And that's and what I'm saying to you is, because I know the competitor that Kev is, because I know the competitor that Kai is, because I know I know a lot more than I say, but I just know the makeup of that team from top to bottom, and just how much they are competitive, but how much there is room for improvement. Challenging Ben Simmons in practice, to me, symbolizes we want the best for him.
Yes.
And so, but I think that is separate than liking something.
Yeah, because you still do. Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. Yeah, it just unfortunately in today's world, somebody like that, how he interacts on social media, he likes a video that has it legitimately has two different messages talking about new media, old media, and then they get into some like
it has like mixed
shit.
messages in it.
It has mixed messages, but you know somebody's gonna look at that like and be like, yo,
KD like
KD
this.
don't like Ben.
Yeah.
KD doesn't want to play with Ben. Fuck it.
Shout out to B, by the way. Shout out to B.
Yeah. No, I just think it's optics. Like I remember, like maybe 6 months ago, I saw something with a girl, and maybe she had a big butt or something like that, and I liked it, and I really liked it. Like I liked it. It was nice. Homie kept me like, "Hey, you might want to chill out on liking stuff because when you like it, other people see it."
Yeah, I noticed that too.
I'm like, I never thought of it. Like some of this stuff is kind of like I'm growing with y'all, but at the same time,
but is it kind of like to what the conversation you and I had about changing something with the show, like perception? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So I get. Yeah, I get.
The higher you go up, you have to move accordingly.
Yes.
You have to move accordingly.
And the trick is, and I want to Jay, if Jay's here, I don't know if he's busy or not. I want to get Jay because I know he came in. Like, I guess the trick is, what I'm learning is that, like you said, the higher you get, and other things, you meet people, doors open up, maybe sponsorship, yada, yada, like different things where you start to, you've got to change how you operate, but you can, the key I'm learning is to maintain because that's been AJ's whole thing about this channel is like always kind of like being for the people, not losing that, but it's okay to kind of have to bend a little bit to look a little bit more professional but finding that balance is the right word, is finding that balance that people don't get turned off as things get bigger and you do have to change certain aspects of certain things.
That's why Woj and Shams don't respond to trolls, but I can.
Facts.
No shade.
Hey, Jay, are you here, bro?
Yeah.
What up, Jay?
What up?
Maintaining.
Yo, let me chime on, and I'm doing more listening than anything because I'm putting children to bed after a long day at Six Flags. But
hey,
let me chime in on that last piece though, especially when it comes to like Scoop says, what Woj and Shams, they don't even interact with people. Yeah. But the one thing that a lot of people don't realize, and this is a piece of advice that I was given recently, and I've said it before, but let me just give a little bit more context to it. When I was told that people from the Nets are watching me, right, and watching my activity on Twitter, the conversation I had was like, yo, if you want to get into this business, you have to be careful what you're putting out there. Not only in tweets, but like if you're on Spaces, if you're on a stream, what have you, in your words also. Word. My response, and so that's actually a piece of advice for anyone who's trying to get into the business. My response, and person laughed when I said it, but it is what it is. My response was, fuck them people.
Yep.
ain't trying to get into the business. I'm well paid at my job, and I have other sources of income also.
You have sources?
He has sources of income, sir. Oh, hey, and by the way, I was just told that KD took his like off the post.
Oh, God.
So that should tell you that he probably had that moment where
Somebody
by accident.
decide.
I liked this, but I'm not fucking with that, and I'm not letting that narrative roll.
Nah,
So,
You
but
probably liked it by accident.
Look, it don't even look. Sometimes, like Scoop said, man, you like something and you don't mean nothing extra behind it, but people always trying to find extra meaning behind the stuff.
Yep.
Let people live, man. Quit scrutinizing every day. There's certain things that I'd be like, okay, hold on a minute. Like if you like something that's blatantly racist, I'm cool on that. You knew what you were doing. Something like that, or Scoop saying you see somebody with a big butt and you like, damn. You like it. I mean, it happens.
I'm so glad they took that activity off Instagram.
Oh yeah. Oh yo, that saved a lot of people's lives, yo. Because girlfriends would go. I remember they would go through that activity page. You will be in so much trouble. Like, what's she doing liking all these girls' pics?
Shit, that wasn't even me. I don't know what you're talking about. It wasn't even me.
Was not. Hey, you brought it on home, brother. For real.
Yeah, bro. It's like we can't. With the social media thing, is like I realize it too. Like you got to watch out what you like now because people are always watching you. So it's like you can't like everything. You know, sometimes I want to like posts and I'd be like, I can't. Like
and then people will go back and look at it, and you know it'll hurt. It'll hurt you
like,
in the
AJ,
end.
what you like? Why you like this? Like, it's like,
Yeah.
oh man. All right, man. Well, I guess we'll get Scoop out of here because we don't want to be here all night.
No, but this is a giving your flowers stream because before you got on, Jay had some good words. We went to bat for you because you deserve more praise than what some dumbasses are doing, and we already had that personally. You already know how I feel and what I said. So,
Yo, Scoop, can I ask you one quick question before we go?
You can ramp up one more question. Go ahead.
One more question. All right. So what I was gonna say is, so now that all this stuff has been going on with Ben Simmons, you know, he was at the summer league games. He was with Royce O'Neal, talking to Sean Marks, Steve Nash. And I saw him in trade packages or whatever, you know, on Twitter. But you know, that's whatever. But do you think this ultimately means that they're not going to trade Ben Simmons?
I think that it seems that way. I don't want to misspeak for this reason. I said this during Mexico, and I was very cognizant of what I said. When Windhorst was talking about that whole Utah thing, and then you go back to my tweet May 15th about Donovan Mitchell. I got a call over the weekend from somebody, and it's someone with Westchester, New York ties, and they told me Donovan wants to come home.
Oh wow!
They said that to me Sunday night.
Well, he was at the Mets game, I think. A week ago?
I don't even put that on there because his father works for the Mets. That's just
his father works for the Mets.
I used to work for the Mets. I can still sit as a fan if I want to. I think that we as woke fans, players are in cities all the time. I think that has more to do with just his locale. Maybe that's where he's set up in the off season. But what I will say is, and I don't mean to cut you off or be snarky, but I do think that when you look at what the Knicks did do this off season, and then you look at what the Nets could do, and if the Jazz are looking to retool, I'll never say never, because if I say no, they're done, and then it happens, you know how that's gonna go.
Yeah, they're gonna
never say never.
Yeah.
But what I will also say is this: Donovan does have a desire from someone that I spoke to come home. I've had conversation with Donovan. We're pleasant. I don't deal with him directly. We've partied at Dwayne Wade Spade's party. I've seen him on the road working. But the person who called me is somebody that I trust, and is somebody that's credible. And it came directly from somebody who had spoke to Donovan that day.
Yeah.
And so what I will say is, we'll see.
I'm not surprised about
the
that
Knicks are very much in play for him. They have a lot of assets.
I agree.
And
I
people are like need to take notice of that. Like I
You're
just
telling
think,
me I have to choose between Utah and New York City? Like, come on, y'all.
no, but what I'm saying though is like the
New
Knicks.
York,
I'm sure
And
the
Utah
Knicks are having.
Utah's cooked.
I'm sure the Knicks are having conversations about Mitchell and a potential package. The only problem. Well, I'm saying the only problem though is that it's like you see what Gobert went for, and you know that they value Mitchell by far higher than him. And it's like I just wonder if their asking price is going to be like even.
They would have to give up RJ. They would have to
like they're gonna have, dude. They're gonna have to give up
Julius,
the next
Quickly,
7 picks.
Obi.
Yeah,
they have to give up a lot of people for him, bro.
Like they're going to be in the same scenario we are with KD, and it's like that's the problem with the Kevin Durant thing. And then you bring in the Ben Simmons. It's like where the teams that we would want, Raptors, Pelicans, right? Like I'll just say that. Like those to me are like the two teams where I'm like, if I could make a trade and had to make a trade, I would hope it would be one of them, and I would get XYZ back. But then when you look at all these other teams, you look at Utah, you look at Miami, you look at some of these other teams. Then you're not only, it's not just a normal trade. It's now, if you are to acquire a significant piece from them, the likelihood you can't have both of these rookie max contracts. So then that changes the dynamic even more. And then you got to bring in, that means we're going to have to trade Ben Simmons. And it's like,
it's a mess.
It's a mess. And it's like and that's the other problem is I think with the other trades, mainly, I think the best one that if you were to keep Ben Simmons and what would work best with him would be the Pelicans. If you could get Brandon Ingram, right? Like it would fit better. I think maybe you slightly run into a little player issues, like whether they fit with some of the guys from
Pelicans
the Raptors.
Ain't trying to give up Ingram at all. I can tell you.
I know. But see, that's the whole problem of this whole thing is like, no matter which way you turn, it's a damn cluster fuck to try to get what you would want for Kevin Durant.
Yo, can I interject though?
Of course.
And Scoop and I have not had any conversations about this, but what you and AJ Gibbs heard is completely different than what I heard.
What do you mean?
From this standpoint.
Well, wait, real quick. Before, clarify what you think you heard, or is it just what I'm thinking?
When you all were speaking about Spider being agreeable to come home.
Oh, okay.
You all immediately jumped to him going to the X. I didn't hear that at all.
Well, no, I was thinking on the terms of I've also heard what you're probably saying about wanting to come here. I'm just, again, that becomes the big cluster of like,
we would have to trade Ben though. Jay,
go for it.
No, I said, Jay, is it who I think?
And it would have to be him for Ben in
it would have to be
some sort of iteration.
Ben, the only way we can get Mitchell is if we trade Ben.
Yeah,
for him.
But that wouldn't that be part of a KD trade going somewhere, or is that like could be something done on its own?
I gotta look at the contracts, but I don't think
I always saw them as being, and this is before Ben was even traded to us. I always saw Spider being someone who would be able to be on the team with Kyrie and KD.
Oof.
I did too, and I'm not just saying that because you said it.
No, but do you think? I'm sorry, Scoop. Go for it. Continue.
Gentlemen first.
No. You were talking. I interrupted. Go for it.
But I think the problem is this: we haven't seen Ben Simmons play in 2 years.
Yeah.
That's why I don't think a trade would be smart right now because his value is low.
Ben Simmons is in the same position now, in my opinion, that he was in last year when the Sixers could not trade him right away. So that whole Timberwolves is busy started for me because Minnesota and Philly were talking, but it didn't materialize. That's where the Timberwolves are busy came from. But what I'll say to you is this: you got to showcase Ben Simmons, people, because he's damaged goods in the minds of front office folks. for 29 other teams. Well, 28 because 29. I think that the if Donovan Mitchell were to be moved to Brooklyn, I think it's a situation that would have to be evaluated in season once people see Ben Simmons play, because perception is reality.
Yeah.
But would you really want to? Oh,
go ahead. Sam.
No, I was going to say, like, even if Ben Simmons turns out to be back to what he was, like, would you really want to trade Jay? I was going to ask you this, like, and say Kyrie? Yeah. So
I don't. Donovan Mitchell. Well, first of all, Ben is the better fit for that big three, Kyrie, KD, and second, it would be really shicey if the front office did that, because like the way Ben has just embraced Brooklyn and hugging Sean, and they're putting like the limelight on Ben.
He's going to the summer league games. He's embracing his new team.
Like,
he reached out to Royce O'Neal, posting on his story.
Ray, did you believe that?
People get traded every day, B.
Jay, you believe that? Yeah.
Rage, they got you.
They may have got me.
It's very shy. Still be very shy.
Rage, you might not be alone. A lot of Nets fans been got thinking that he's the consummate teammate and wanting to go to summer league. Y'all been got, man. And this ain't just the Nets. This is every NBA team. They showcase certain guys at summer league every year who they invite to come to summer league every year. Y'all think people are randomly just showing up at summer league because they want to be there?
And then, did you see the Royce interview when he was like, Ben reached out to me? He's like one of the first people to reach out to me.
Yeah, listen, they prepped Royce on what to say.
Wow, that's tough.
Yo, the scripted.
Come on, look. Do you think Clax was prepped on what to say when he said he spoke to KD and Kyrie?
No,
he wasn't.
Well,
prepped. Yeah. You can tell who's been prepped and who's not been prepped. Let me ask who's reached out to you, Royce? Hold on, let me see what they told me. Oh yeah, Ben's reached out to me, and Patty has too. What? And Patty has? Oh God. Okay. Yeah,
Patty don't even know you, little bro.
Yeah. That's what we doing now. You the one that Patty reached out to. Has Patty reached out to anybody else?
Patty don't even know you, man.
Quit lying, man.
Yo, but the thing with Donovan, I don't want to see Donovan, KD, and we have enough ISO guys as it is, bro. That'll be the ISO 3. That'll be the ISO 3, yo.
No, Donovan would be better with us if we got rid of KD and
Not going back to what Saint was saying. No, 100% healthy Ben, I think, is a dream for the Nets because they've never had anyone that young going into their prime that good in my lifetime. Like I can't speak to Dr. J, that's before me, but they've never had anyone that young, that good in going into their prime. They just haven't. Jason Kidd was slightly older, so that's why I don't consider that of the same ilk. So Ben technically fits to a T. Ben also has an injury that could be career ending. So that gives me a certain level of pause. That's why.
Yeah. It's a very scary thought. I don't like back injuries, man. Back injuries, those could really, You saw what happened to Tracy McGrady that ended his career.
Which is
Draymond was out for almost a year. Was he almost the whole year? Draymond was out the whole year, basically.
Yo, people's backs. Larry Johnson's back injury, and I'm not saying all back injuries are the same, but Larry Johnson's back injury, that man lost like 2 inches in his height.
Damn.
And he wasn't the same player that he was in Charlotte.
Jump shooter.
Right. In Charlotte, he would yank it on you like it wasn't nothing. He had to change his whole game completely when he came to the X.
Yeah, that back's not
and I'm not saying it's the same back injury because I don't know. I really don't. But back injuries do worry me.
Yeah, more than sometimes knee or leg.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I'm more scared of a back injury than somebody tearing their ACL, honestly.
Yeah.
You want to be real. Yeah.
There's a lot. Yeah. This is going to get interesting, man. This is definitely not how I saw the offseason going, but yeah, I think we're far from the drama actually being done. Like,
listen, 4th of July, we thought LeBron. Well, I didn't, but Kyrie was going to Los Angeles. Today, he's not. Tomorrow, he could be going to Pluto or Mars.
Yeah. Like, I'm literally just watching right now. I just saw another post, like Lakers fans, where they posted what Brian put out, and then it's like people in there like, "Oh, you actually commented." I just saw your comment from the guy, the Shubs.
What did I say?
Okay, no, your tweet's right below it. That's why. Okay, it caught me off guard.
I said, Woj is better than Scoop B.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, in this own post, it's like people are talking about like, well, Shams did say something similar, and then Lakers fans are like, nah, he didn't mean. He's like, well, Chris Haynes said this, and it's like people, like, the level of reality that people have just by listening to a certain reporter is amazing, and will completely discredit what other, like, now more than three reputable reporters have said the same thing opposite.
Yes.
And it's like, and it's crazy how people just, like, depending on what your fan base is, like, how you let that influence what you say. And then that also then puts you out there to talk down on the other opposing.
Well, I'll put this out here. I don't speak negatively about any of my colleagues. I'm respectful. That's just unprofessional.
No.
But I know that oftentimes for me personally, I know people will say, well, Sham said this and he's more senior level, or Woj said this. For people who are on here, I'll share this with you. Do you know that my check and Sham's check are signed by the same company?
Awesome.
And I say that it's not a flex, but it's like, I'm not chopped liver. He's younger than me. And the other thing I'll add is he's like, this is a 24-hour job, and in ways that people wouldn't even imagine. Like sacrificing spending time with your loved one because you're chasing a story. You know,
you can get called at like 3 a.m. or 2 a.m, and you have to like write and stuff like that.
Missing people's birthday parties. I remember my sister, she years ago when she was in college, she pledged AKA. My mother was an AKA as well, as a sorority. And I was so tired because I was doing something the night before and it was important for her and her family to come. I couldn't go because I was just that tired. I don't think people know the backstory, nor should they really know. Like, everything is at this. I just think that social media has made people too familiar. And I think it was Mike Tyson who said, Jay, how's it go? You got too comfortable. Somebody get punched in their mouth. I'm not sure exactly how Mike Tyson said it, but one of y'all know, if not Jay, somebody else.
It's not.
Everybody has a game plan until they get punched in the mouth.
Something like that.
No. But no, he's also recently said that social media has made people comfortable to basically to the effect that people need to start getting punched in their mouth again.
And I'm not attacking anybody, but what I'm saying is nobody knows people's preparation process. And I just think that I think social media has made people think that they could do everything that other people could do. And the funny thing is, just on this note, I'll close with this. We all talk to the same people. You'd be surprised. I'll call you back. I'm on the phone with so-and-so. I'll call you back. Like, and I really, really saw it during my time at the finals, just being around my peers. Like, you'd be surprised sometimes just how much we're all talking to the same people, but we're all trying to reach a common goal. Do we get it right all the time? No. Some people are more comfortable than others. Some people are more dedicated than others. Some people are more senior level. But just because you're older and just because you work for an organization doesn't mean you're better.
Yeah. Thanks. Well said. Well said. Chestnut checkers, man.
Remember I told you.
Chestnut checkers, yo. Make sure you guys follow Scoop at Scooby on Twitter. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Also, Jay from BK, follow Jay from BK on Twitter. All of us on Twitter, SaintNet1, Nets Rays, Chubbs Nets. Appreciate everybody that tuned in tonight. We'll be back. I forgot when is their next summer league game? I don't even know when the next summer league game is.
I don't know. I'm probably working. Is it
Did
Thursday
they win
or
today?
Friday?
Yeah, there was a game today.
Did they win?
Nah,
No, dude, we
by
got
Memphis.
blown the hell out. It was
Damn.
bad. Like I thought we were watching Steve Nash coaching out there. It was that bad.
No, it was like Jock Vaughn when that first game when we played the Raptors and Steve Nash got COVID. Oh my god.
Oh, yo, that was terrible, yo. Yeah, it was a punch. We got punched.
We
We
lost
got
by
Mike
like
Tyson.
we literally lost by like 45. Like it was not good.
Yeah, it was bad. All right, y'all, man. Appreciate everybody in the chat. We'll see you guys.
Later, y'all.
Later, Scoop. Appreciate you, man. Jay,
All right.
everybody. Actually, we'll just end the broadcast. We don't have to get off yet, but appreciate everybody. We'll see you soon.